What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ. I'm Diggins.
And this is mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo! Woo! No voices this week. No characters, no nothing. We could do characters, I guess, for this year if there were specific things you wanted to reference, but it would just confuse everyone because this is our wrap-up year one where we talk about the things that happened in this year and also predict things from the next year. So, for instance, you could all do your best impressions. Let's see, what's a thing that came out this year that won't make any of our lists because it was fine? The Meg. You can do your best impressions of the Meg or something.
I fucking hate megalodons. Oh, they make me so angry. Oh, I'm Jason Statham.
Yeah. Evacuate your bowels on camera, just like we decided he had to have done when he didn't explode underwater.
You're gonna have to save that one in 2 weeks for the Beekeeper.
I saw a trailer for the Beekeeper last night. Yeah, it was good. Like, I think people are gonna like it. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if that movie's gonna be good. Maybe it'll be on one of our lists. So I don't want to talk about it too much. And we have no news this week because even though there was news, Steven Yeun's not in Thunderbolts anymore or something. We got to talk about the predictions and stuff. So we're gonna get right to that. How this works is we're going to go over 3 lists of things in order that is fluctuating constantly. It is going to be our predictions from last year. So we're going to get this, like, looking back at them and determining who was right, who was wrong. Then we're going to do our just looking back at last year. So we're going to say now with hindsight, what was last year, the year of, stuff like that, 2023. And then we're going to look forward, make some predictions for 2024. We've done this, I think, since 2019. I don't know if we've had definitive, like, I'm sure we've had definitive winners and stuff, but I don't know if we've kept track of it. I'm wondering what our records are.
I'm sure I'm a big loser.
I don't even remember what I've said, let alone who won.
I think last year you did pretty well.
Yes,
I think right. I did okay, but I had some predictions that were really bad. No, I'm pretty sure
you did really bad.
No. So I had like the worst prediction of the year, I think, which was Top Gun 2 was going to bomb. But I also had a couple of pretty good ones that were like, the multiverse, I think, held up. I don't know. We'll get to it. Well, we'll get to it, but we'll do that again where I have some great ones and some bad ones. So DJ, would you like to explain the other thing that I said you were going to introduce before we started?
Yes. So we actually have a guest for this. Is someone who's here.
It's me, Jason Statham.
Oh, no.
Oh, everybody.
Stuff him in the bee suit.
The Beekeeper.
Save that for 2 weeks from now, Jason.
all right. But you better have me on.
Yeah, your patented Beekeeper costume.
Jason Statham, you should be in Night Swim because you're an Olympic diver. That's how you got your start, you know? You could save everybody in that.
Well, they asked me, but I was already too busy filming the Beekeeper when I started.
That's true. And in cartoons, a good way to escape bees is to jump in a pool. So maybe for Beekeeper 2 and Night Swim 2, they can be one movie. And that can be part of it. The bees have to kill the monster that lives in the pool.
Yeah. A swimming pool ghost and a beekeeper. Natural enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
Go protect the hive, Jason Statham. You must protect the hive. You're
very well.
Humanity's only hope. Or whatever the premise is. So we have a different guest this week. It's someone who's here, is a close personal friend of mine, but isn't here as part of any kind of favor because I may or may not pay their salary. They're here because they wanted to come on of their own free will. We have, and I believe he's still holding term despite some chicanery that you two tried to do that one time, I think during the Wish Pod. We have Supreme Court Justice of the Mostly Nitpicking Supreme Court, Roger on. Everyone, welcome Roger to the show.
Woo. Hey guys.
He's finally made it.
I know. I survived Nando's insurrection attempt against me, and I'm still sitting atop the throne / pedestal that I've constructed for my Supreme Court.
Now, I want to be very clear. There was never any attempt to depose Roger. It was simply that we changed the Constitution so that we had a court system that works like every other country on Earth, instead of this one, where the Supreme Court can't just decide what laws are.
Yes, yeah. And after watching Barbie, you guys came up with that because you had me fight somebody. I had my shirt off at a moment, and then in the last minute, I was like, "Oh no, they've changed the Constitution. I am no longer as powerful as I should have been."
They made a Barbie movie?
I'm still not totally positive.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I think I would have remembered something like that.
Yeah, that seems like that'd be a bigger deal. Must have came and went.
And we talked about the Wish podcast. You know, I'm on the pod. I want to clear the air, right? There's been a lot of controversy, a lot of back and forth. It's been going on a couple weeks, right? And I think it's time for the mostly nitpicking Supreme Court to weigh in on this matter, right? And not only to solve this problem, but also to lay some precedent down for future controversies. Because we've seen all year, there's been some back and forth. Scorponok, we remember during the Beast Wars pod, there's always going to be an issue, right?
This was complicated.
But much like the real Supreme Court, the mostly nitpicking Supreme Court gives a great deal of deference to the IMDb's men, aka the beekeeper, and their tie-breaking process. So Nando's tiebreaker, while not what the court would have done, was not egregious and it was not fraudulent. And therefore, the nitpicking Supreme Court affirms the ruling made in the Wish pod.
Okay.
I take back everything I've ever said about you, Roger.
I wish there was a PayPal sound we all knew and loved that I could play as a joke right now through my microphone.
It's like if there was a Venmo beep noise
exactly.
just blowing up.
I don't know if it's...
Unrelated, I am now going to be using the Nebula plane to take my vacation.
Yeah.
Roger, it's me, your mother. Someone just paid my entire mortgage.
Mom, is that you?
That's right, it's me.
You sound like Jason Statham pretending to be an old woman.
Well, that's how Jason Statham...
I'm not doing a British accent.
That'd be a really good version of the beekeeper, though, where instead of killing all the scammers, Jason Statham does scams to them on the phone as an old lady. Like that guy who messes with scammers on YouTube. That would be pretty good.
Now that we've cleared there on the Wish podcast, I'm going to jump into the IMDb summary winner because I did not release a midpoint or a year end, so this is fresh. Let's remember last year, the IMDb summary went down to the final movie, and the winner of Nando v. Diggins in the Avatar 2 movie would take the crown. And Diggins harnessed the power of his whale buddy, Pycon, and bested Nando to take the IMDb
Pycon. You're going to forget the other A.
See? I didn't see the movie. I'm sorry, guys.
Even those who didn't see the movie recognize the white-hot star power of Pycon.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. A character that's such a big deal, they don't even make toys I could get you for Christmas. They didn't make any of them. I looked.
There should be a plush coming down the pipeline. Like
you would figure, right? Yeah. Or just even like a little Hot Wheels sized, like, little figure. Would have been good. Nope, nothing. There's a Lego set, but it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Did you at least manage to find the fisherman that you loved so much?
No, they didn't. I don't even, you know what? Scoresby was probably part of the Pycon set. And at a certain point, I gave up looking for things that weren't. It was all just, if you want to buy the robots, guys, there's a bazillion of those, but very little other stuff. And maybe this is one of the failures culturally of the Avatar, why people say like Avatar doesn't live in the cultural consciousness for as long as you think. It's because they don't make enough whale puppets and stuff to get sold at the beach alongside SpongeBob and the Minions and become cultural staples.
I'm always saying this.
It's a problem.
I just heard that on the subway today as people were talking about it.
Yeah, this is the first time I've heard people talk about Avatar since it came out.
So this year on IMDb, you all reviewed 51 movies, but only 48 counted because we had Diggins out and DJ out. At the halfway point, DJ was in the lead, 9 wins. Diggins had 8. Nando had 7.
Stop.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say he was in the lead by 9 wins. So What? How many did he win in a row? Yeah, that makes sense.
And then we all remember Nando had that long losing streak. He had a 7-week losing streak.
Classic.
But much like Nando could beat a Hunger Games and Dr. Robotnik's robot, he can also beat a losing streak. So he came back. And going into the last movie, in Aquaman and the Lost Marketing Campaign, DJ had a chance to win the title outright if he had beat Nando. But he didn't. And instead, Nando won, and we had a 3-way tie, each of you getting 16 wins.
No way.
Wow, really?
Yes. I was just as surprised as you guys because I did it all at the end of the year. And 48 pods in, 19 tiebreakers, 16 wins each for you all.
Wow.
Wow, DJ, just think, if you could remember any detail of any movie you'd ever watched, you would have won.
I am, okay, so 2 things. 1, I'm flabbergasted that we 3-way tied. 2, is there some kind of way we could, break this tie?
DJ, this is a great question. And the Supreme Court took a lot of time, and they thought, this is a very important decision, right? The IMDb crown, it is the pinnacle of the podcast universe. And what movie summary or movie trivia could rise to the stakes of this honor?
Ooh.
Well, the Supreme Court looked long and hard, far and wide, and eventually the answer was clear, a simple answer. The tiebreaker worthy of deciding the IMDb B as in spelling bee crown would be trivia on IMDb itself.
No.
Thank God. I was worried this was going to be about naming the Knights of Ren. I couldn't. Even I, who wrote the whole 4 videos about them, couldn't remember any of their names.
I'm pretty sure we would all immediately lose.
Yeah.
What's your Rensonas? Lay them out, boys.
Oh, God. It's been
I
so
don't
long.
remember the name I gave, but I remember the details.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
mine
have
had a
to dig these
keytar.
up for the stupid Ray movie they come out with.
Oh, yeah. And not the one about Ray, the Jamie Foxx one. A different one.
Yeah, not the Ray Charles biopic.
Not the Ray Charles
from like
biopic,
a decade ago. Or more, I think.
2 decades ago. I do think it was 2020 or 2004,
Yeah,
actually.
That sounds right, yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
Happy anniversary, everybody.
Okay.
So I have 5 questions planned out, but 7
my
possible
God.
points. Now,
Okay.
podcast listeners, I have Nando DJ and Diggins all on a individual Discord channel with me. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the question and have them DM me their answer. And then I'm going to have them reveal their answers live to each other, and then I'll say who won. This way there's no bias or influence by other members of the podcast. And so are the rules clear, gentlemen? We have 7 points, 5 questions.
All right.
I imagine at this rate we're going to have a tie again, so I've got some tiebreakers potentially.
Yeah.
Completely ready. Yep.
That's what's in the spirit of this freaking show, baby.
All right. So with that, the tiebreaker to end all tiebreakers, at least for 2023. The first question: what year was IMDb founded? Now, if you get the year exactly, you get 2 points. But if nobody gets it, the closest gets 1 point.
All right.
So in your Discord chat, let me know what your answers are, and then I will ask you to reveal.
I think this is great, and I just answered immediately off the gut because I'm a genius. I see in the Riverside chat, Nando's really thinking. Diggins is looking at paper, so he's probably cheating. But I feel it's just like pretty good just going off the gut here. So
It's so hard for me to remember when internet stuff could have even been. Like, what years are out of bounds?
Websites start?
Yeah.
When did
sometime in
Bill
the
Gates
70s.
invent the internet?
Al Gore did that?
Yeah.
Poser.
It's at least 50 years old.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if you consider DARPANET as the progenitor of the internet, then that's actually kind of true.
Well, I meant IMDb's at least 50 years old.
Yeah. That was the first thing they made when they got DARPANET together.
Where are we gonna put
They
movie
were like,
summaries?
hey, who was in The Sound of Music? Let's write them down on this paper. Scan it into internet.
I feel like a lot of water cooler debates were like, who was in that movie? Who was in
Yeah.
that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
There's a lot of casual conversation that was ruined by the internet.
Absolutely.
Sports
oh, yeah.
debates. Oh my god. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you could have just said there was a lot ruined by the internet, and would have
That's
been
true.
equally
Yeah.
true.
Yes, also correct.
Yeah, serious conversation didn't do much better.
All right. All right. What year was IMDb founded? Diggins, give us your answer. And if you want to talk through your process, you can. Oh, you're revealing it on the chat.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's 2001. My process was IMDb has a real Web 1.0 layout, which makes me think it must be a very old website. And also, I kind of remember using it like pretty early on in my internet using. So I figured it was probably an earlier website. 2001 seemed good, like a little after the web boom, the
All right.
web bubble, whatever. That was my entire thought process.
Nando, what do you
So-
got for me?
I actually said something similar, although different. I said 2002. My whole question was like, when was I in 6th grade? Because that was when I kind of remember internet stuff happening, and it was around 2002. Looking back, I think actually it was 2003, but in that area. So, I don't feel incredibly confident about that. Honestly, now I'm like, maybe I should have gone further back, but I'm going to stick with 2002.
And DJ, what do you have for us?
This is incredible. I said 2003 for all the
Oh
same
my
reasons.
gosh.
So I hope it's 2004 or greater.
I hope it's 2001 or earlier.
Looking back now that I think about it and like I'm saying it out loud, 2002 is the year Spider-Man came out. I'm almost positive the IMDb existed when Spider-Man came out, which means it's much older than any of us have said.
And Nando, that is 100% correct. IMDb was founded in 1990. It entered into the
what? 90?
Yeah, it entered
it's
into
as
the
old
web.
as us. What
Yep, it entered into the web in
older than me.
1993.
Wow.
Jesus.
So there was a lot of intranet in the 80s on like college campuses and stuff, and then the
Usenet
internet in
stuff,
its early, So 1990, so that means Diggins by default wins. This is a very good appetizer for how your predictions went of just how far off base.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no!
All right.
Nobody would listen to this show if we were right about things.
He's correct by being 11 years off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you weren't 12 and 13 years off.
Nando and I sucked more. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. Second question. In 1998, IMDb was purchased by this company. IMDb is still owned by this company today. And it's a company you all know.
So it's not Alta Vista, is what you're saying.
It's Quibi, baby.
Oh man, they got him.
It's still owned by them?
Correct. Bought in 1998 and still owned by this company today.
I have a dumb guess that is wrong, but I want it to be true, so I'm guessing it.
I have two guesses, and one of them's kind of also the dumb one, but I think the fact that that's sticking around in my head means I'm going to go with it.
All right. This time, Nando, kick us off.
All right. I said Fandango, the internet like movie ticket buying thing. I don't know why, but that came up in my head as like possible.
I don't think that existed in 1998.
If it didn't, they should have gotten it together and made one because it would have been so hot right then.
DJ, what did you put?
I guessed Warner Brothers.
Oh,
because
nice.
like in the late 90s, they were doing all kinds of dumb acquisitions. And I'm like, I feel like this is something they would own and continue to own just because they're like, this is a cool website for us to buy and throw up ads on. So yeah, I went with Warner Brothers. It's got to be wrong.
Yeah, now that I think about it, the answer is probably like Halliburton or something like that. You know, they've scrubbed it all, but it's
BP.
Mostly just for sure.
Diggins, what do you have for us?
I, of course, went with Yahoo.
Oh, that's a good
As
one.
an early internet like successful thing that could have been buying up other websites and inexplicably still exists.
That's not a bad guess, and the problem is Yahoo did a lot of bad purchases in the 90s and 2000s, and IMDb is still around. The actual answer is Amazon.
That was my second guess. That was
I thought about that, but I was like, I don't think Amazon really existed back then.
Yeah,
I mean, they did.
they
Weren't really that successful.
Did those
Correct.
books, man.
Yeah, they were crushing it with books, but besides that, they weren't like.
Do we all get 0 points? No one even gets
Correct.
the commerce
No,
company.
I don't know. My guess has some A's in it.
My guess is a website, so that's something.
Mine is now.
Hey, you can go to warnerbrothers.com. Stop it now.
Yeah.
Mine is primarily a website.
There you go. All right, third question. This has 2 potential points on the table. IMDb has tried its hand at streaming. In 2019, it launched Freedive. It changed its name 6 months later, and then again in 2022. Can you name either or both of the IMDb streaming services? There are 2 choices. Give me both for 2 points.
What was the original name again?
Freedive, like free and then diving into a pool like Jason Statham in Meg.
So they changed their name twice, and we're supposed to give you both changes.
Yeah, for 2 points. You can give one if you know one and not the other.
I mean,
now here's the thing. You guys go on IMDb pretty regularly, especially in 2019, 2020 for this exact game. So you've seen it on the website.
I assure you I have not.
I feel great about this guess.
I mean, let's see. Okay, so we have to give both. There's that one, and then let's do. You know what? Let's do that.
Okay. All right. Diggins, do you want to give a second one? I'm waiting for that.
I'm just giving a clarification.
Oh, sure.
Oh, good. Write a dissertation with your answer, sir.
Sure. You only want to give one guess, though?
Yeah. Give a second guess. I'll give you a hint, Diggins. They were longer than 10 minutes each, so it's not quickie. Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, now I'm wondering like what was on this network, and I want to check, but now I'm like, oh, maybe that'll be a question. But I'm gonna check when we're done with this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No looking ahead. No cheating.
There.
No cheating.
Well
no cheating.
done.
All right.
And you know what? DJ, give us your answers.
All right. So my first guess is Freevee.
Mhm.
And
Oh.
I believe that's Amazon's ad-based streaming service, so I'm just going to assume that if it's Amazon, then it's that.
Smart.
And then
Very
the other
smart.
I went with was Freemio, because I'm like, they probably kept the free if it was between Freedive and Freevee, so maybe at some point they were like Freemio, because that sounds like a thing.
Because Freevee evolves into Freemio
That's-
if you use the money stone.
And then it's free stories at the end.
win a
Yeah.
it has to level up while you have more than 100,000 polka dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Diggins, what did you put down?
So I did the opposite of DJ, where I stuck with dive. So I've got
Oh.
high dive and then low dive because I panicked.
I like, he spelled high H-I dive, like, hi
Yeah.
dive.
Like a
you're
fancy
so-
internet, like-
Yeah, because internet websites always spell the words correctly, DJ.
Yeah, and like
Well,
how sometimes they'd be like, there'd be some giant part of their website that would be like, we chose to use hi, like hello, a greeting that says friendliness, and
But then
dive,
You
like
spelled low
fail.
correctly, so it should have been L-O dive. Come on now.
I told you I panicked.
That's fair.
All right, Nando, what'd you put down?
So I went really, straightforward with this. I have IMDb Plus and IMDb TV.
You know
Those
what?
are-
If those are right, I'm gonna feel like a real idiot.
Yeah,
Sometimes
same.
that's what they name the things.
Well, gentlemen, the answers are in 2019, they changed 6 months after naming it Freedive to IMDb TV. 1 point for Nando.
There we go.
I feel like a real dummy.
Woof.
And then in 2022, they changed their name to Freevee.
Hey,
They
DJ
are
gets a
Freevee.
point.
Nice.
let's go.
Cool.
Very
We all have
good.
1 point going into question
Yeah.
4.
That is, that's a reasonable amount of points to have. So they were Freevee. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
man,
like one of
I'm,
the-
I'm anticipating just
Great.
ties on top of ties on top of ties.
I mean, whatchamacallit, right? Jury Duty is a freebie show. One
Yeah.
of the best
Well-
shows of this year. So
Well,
way
I
to go
now
freebie.
I have to eliminate a question because my fourth
No,
question
was that a question? Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
Nando, hoisted by his own petard.
Yeah,
could
no,
have
actually,
easily
this is
taken
great.
the lead.
That's
Damn.
great. I'm glad.
I feel bad.
Was it
My-
specifically about jury duty, or was it just name a freebie show?
Here's the fourth question. Freevee received its first Emmy nomination award this year
Yeah.
for a TV show. What TV show was it, Nando?
Succession. I'm pretty sure this is what Succession's on.
I mean, I feel like we all would have gotten that right.
DJ
Nando?
definitely
Absolutely
would
not.
have.
I would
Diggins
not.
Oh,
didn't
man.
watch it, but I know
Damn
me and
it.
DJ did.
Yeah, no, I'm like, woo, somebody up there's looking out for me. That question
Nando.
got eliminated.
I'm a murder you, Nando.
I mean, listen,
Especially if Diggins wins this. Super
that's-
murder.
that- That's
That'll
what
just
it
be
is, then
proof
so
that
be it.
of divine favor that
Mhm.
the divine right of IMDb winners. Like God has anointed me.
I suppose.
The
problem
good news
is,
oh, go.
I was just gonna say the problem is like you put the James Marsden thing into my head. I'm gonna talk about it. And when I heard Freebie, that was my first thought. Was like James Marsden was in that. Also, he was in X-Men and Enchanted.
Please don't tell me those were the other questions.
What other?
Yeah,
name
weirdly,
15
the
more
last
James
one was
Marsden
mostly
things.
about
All
James
right.
Marsden, yeah.
Yeah. 30 Rock season 5. 30 Rock season 6. Just kidding. It's actually 30 Rock season 6. I don't think he's in season 5 at all.
Well, the
Yeah.
good news is the fifth question, much like the first question, is a range of potential answers. So I think we're going to have a winner here since you all are tied again going into the fifth question. So the fifth question is, IMDb has over 657,837 movies listed on its website.
It's honestly
It has
lower
two-
than I would have thought.
It has 252,259 TV series that it's cataloged, not episodes, but series.
Right.
Okay.
How many podcast series are on IMDb? And for the record, mostly Nitpicking is on it.
Oh man, the bar's real low then.
Oh, yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
God. How many podcasts are on IMDb?
So not individual episodes, but series.
Right.
For reference,
Okay.
the TV series was about 250,000.
Oh my gosh.
We're talking podcast series.
And
now
we're
you guys
on
can,
it.
Yes, you guys can talk this one out as a group now. I'm letting it free flow if you want to kind of
I
throw other people off.
I'm not giving these guys an inch.
Yeah, me neither.
Listen,
Yeah.
we can all laugh and joke and be like, "Oh, what a silly thing we're doing." I'm here to win.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't here to win, because then my answer would be 1. It's mostly nitpicking and nobody else.
It's gonna be 1, 3, and someone's gonna say 10 because they were like, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man,
not a
It
lot
needs
of
to be
podcasts,
within.
right?
We'll see.
I
man.
like this is. It's very difficult for several reasons. Most of them being like, what's the bar to entry? And
I had a number, but then I remembered Slate makes podcasts, so I had to add another 100,000 to it.
You know what? I'm just going with Heart of the Cards.
Yep.
Now again, not podcast episode, podcast
series.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I hate my guests so much. Like, everyone has a podcast.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
We
And we're
have
on
a
there.
we have a podcast.
If not for the fact that we have a podcast, but I would have been like, well, there's no way we're on there. It's probably like the bar's probably pretty high, but
Yeah.
this really changes things.
And also, unlike a show, because I'm assuming where they get this from, unless one of us put it up there, which I didn't, was like you get some iTunes or whatever list, and they just made it, which means everybody that started a podcast and then didn't even do an episode, but like made an account would be on there. So that's like so many. Because that would count podcasts to happen when people were drunk and said we should make a podcast, and they never did it, which is like half of them.
That's how the Trump cast started.
That's right. They might be on there too.
That's how, what was it? Any Given Wednesday?
Oh, yeah.
Was the Bill Simmons podcast, like parody Bill Simmons podcast?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. You guys did some weird spin-offs.
Fucking, yeah. The 2010s were a hell of a time.
All right, we have all of our answers in. So, Nando, give me your answer.
So my answer, based on the numbers you gave, I want to pick one that was similar, as would be the best joke, and I picked 500,000.
Okay.
Yep.
DJ, what did you pick?
So, okay.
All right. Good start.
Okay.
There's no way anyone's gonna believe me. Okay. So my guess is 532,167. Unfortunately, what I typed into Roger was 532,167,967. Now, I definitely meant 500,000, but just decided to type in 3 more numbers because I don't know why.
Oh.
I'll let Nando and Diggins decide. But like, my guess is 532,167.
I mean, that guess would be good if like better than my guess if it's a higher number than ours. So I don't want to let it happen.
I mean, I feel like this is an issue for the Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's up to Roger.
That's the document that you were submitted.
It's within the spirit of the law.
It's funnier if it's 532 million. Just go with it. I'm
It
so
might
mad
be,
at myself.
you know,
I don't know why I
that's
wrote 3 more numbers. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. It's like counting. Doesn't matter.
Well,
Go ahead.
Roger is learning in real time that all the DJ stuff is not a bit.
I want to hear what Diggins said now. So I'm like, well, do you also say 500,000? Do we all just know in our hearts that's how many it is?
No, you see, I think that Roger's playing a trick on us.
Mm.
He made the mostly nitpicking IMDb to throw us off.
Oh,
The bar
what?
is higher. I mean, I still said a lot, but I put 150,000.
Okay. It's a good
The
guess.
actual number of podcast series on IMDb, and I don't know how they catalog it, is 49,233, which means that Diggins is the winner again.
Okay.
All right. Well, luckily we don't have to worry.
I am even angrier about the jury duty now, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
You
We would all be
realize that
tied
would mean
again.
another 3-way tie.
Yeah, but now you're winning. A 3-way tie is better. As we learned from hockey, Diggins, We learned the ties are better in hockey.
No, it's funny. No, what we learned from hockey, DJ, is that the funniest outcome is the least qualified team winning.
That's fair.
That's why it's funny that I've won.
That's fair.
Well, there's 7
So
questions,
far.
right? Not 5. Yeah, we're still going.
No, there were only 5 questions. So
Oh.
7 choices, and you ruined one of the questions.
Oh, damn it. Well, there you go. Diggins wins because he hasn't seen Jury Duty.
I'm angrier than I could possibly be.
I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for making Nando say jury duty out loud.
Wait, so what were your tiebreakers? Did you have tiebreakers,
I just want to know.
Roger?
We don't have to belabor it, but just what was the
All right.
tiebreaker?
I was going to go switch over to the actual podcast itself and ask, what was the longest podcast this year for you guys doing a podcast on one of the movies?
Oh, man.
The Snyder Cut was not this year, right?
No.
That's an all-timer.
Nor was Avatar, right? Avatar, we released it like the end of last year, I think.
Correct.
Yeah, 'cause that was the one that went.
This year started with Rocketeer and Mithrigan and ended
That's
with
right.
Candy Cane, Wonka, and Aquaman.
Is it Mario? Because Mario was weirdly
I would
long.
say, like, we tend to go long on the superhero ones. I would say Ant-Man.
Okay. Diggins, what do you got?
Well, I'm trying to remember what ones I remember going really, really long. I think like there was one like weirdly 4-hour one, but I can't remember what it was. Mario and Aquaman. Mario and let's go with the Shazam one because that movie was fucking weird.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it was actually The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds.
Whoa!
Oh, okay.
Spent a lot of time on some
Wild.
news, and then the movie you guys talked about a good bit as well.
Yeah.
You
There's
guys
a lot
yelled at me
going
for
on
falling
there.
asleep. That makes sense.
Yeah, it
Well,
makes
because you
TJ,
came
that
out
just-
the gate like this movie sucks so bad, and then you're like, also I missed half of it.
I don't know if you read the Discord, but everyone agreed with me about Aquaman. That it was
Yeah,
bad
no,
and
that's
sleepy.
fair.
It was bad and sleepy.
And then the other tiebreaker, for some reason you guys didn't get that, was what was the shortest podcast of the year?
Oh, I couldn't even wait.
I mean, it's got to be one of the ones where it was just 2 of us. Those tend to be shorter. I'm trying to remember the ones where DJ before time was like, guys, I have to leave at midnight.
Yeah, God.
Oh my God. Was it Loki? I feel like Loki wasn't that long.
It's not a
Maybe it
bad
was
guess.
Pretty short, yeah, actually.
I was
it
gonna
Loki?
say, I mean, like, what was the one me and Diggins just did?
Wonka.
Wonka? Yeah, I would say Wonka.
was long. Wonka was like 3 hours.
Oh,
Because
no,
we just loved Wonka so much.
that's
Yeah,
true,
you guys
yeah.
really did.
And we had to talk
yeah.
about Mr. Bean having sex.
Yeah, that's that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it was actually The Mandalorian season 3. There was only 123 minutes, shortest
That
pod
makes
of the year.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
super makes sense. Because I forgot that happened this year. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Hey guys, remember when The Mandalorian season 3 happened this year?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
All
And
right. Well,
in classic IMDb fashion, we're going to recap a few things that Nando said he could beat in 2023. He said he could beat The Rocketeer. He said
Absolutely.
he could beat Great Boy.
oh
My Hero
yeah,
Academia.
I forgot about that. That was this year.
Anyone
Nando
could be
Qu-
Great Boy. He sucks.
Yeah. Nando quadrupled down on being able to fly a helicopter.
It's not that hard. There's only 2 pedals and a stick.
Incredible.
Any of us could do it. It's all about confidence. You believe in yourself. You tell the helicopter who's boss. It's doable.
He also could beat Jury Duty and Freddy's Monsters from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, I mean, yeah, anybody could beat Freddy's Monsters. And did I beat the show Jury Duty or did I get out of Jury Duty?
You wouldn't
Both.
have
You could do
got caught. You would have figured out the lie. You
Oh,
would have
absolutely.
been like, what?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because you would have recognized James Marsden, and then
Yeah.
you know.
I'd have been like, you're busy doing stuff, right? And you'd be like, no, I only do Jury Duty. And I'd be like, there's no fucking way. Not in a million years.
Or you would have sat down and only talked about X-Men. He would have been like, I cut it. We're
Yeah,
done.
we gotta go. No, you know what it
Sir
is?
too much.
Because DJ, you've watched it, right? Roger,
Yeah.
have you watched Jury Duty? There are like a couple of actors in there that you would
Yeah.
recognize. The tall guy from Parks and Rec, who's
Yeah, that
Animal
one.
Control.
Yeah,
You'd
that's a tough
recognize
one.
him. And then the other guy, the nerd, not the nerd with the technology, the other one with the girlfriend.
Sex Lives of College.
Sex Lives of
Girl,
College
yeah.
Girls. Yeah, I would have recognized
And
him.
I would have
immediately, too.
recognized Santa from I
Yeah.
Think You Should Leave.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I would have recognized Santa.
Now, is there an
That's his quote.
appearance of a guy pretending to be Santa Claus in that, or is Biff Whiff actually in that show?
I think it's that one.
I don't know who Biff was.
The actual actor.
Yeah, I
who
think it's
plays
Biff.
Okay. He is in Jury Duty.
Yeah.
So
And then I have a few quotes of the year. The first one, which I don't think had the type of reaction it should have, DJ was recounting some movies that came out in 2022, and the name of the movie was Jiang Zia Legend of Deification, and he said Legend of Defecation. And you all just let it happen. That was on the Mario pod at 1 hour and 8 minutes and 10 seconds. And I was like, how did Diggins not go on a 20-minute rant about how hilarious it is?
I've let you all down. You're right.
Yeah.
And then the other, I think my favorite quote of the year was Diggins had this one. He said, while he was giving the summary of the movie, "We're jumping around so much, but there's so much about this movie that sucks ass." You all want to guess what movie that is?
Oh.
What did I hate the most?
Yeah, what movie angered?
And what movie came out this year that sucked ass?
I mean, spoiled for choice. I mean, Ant-Man, I'm guessing.
I don't fully believe this one sucked ass, but I'm gonna say The Flash.
Okay. DJ, what do you got?
Oh man, this is tough. Was it Indiana Jones?
Oh, it's a good one.
All good guesses, but it ultimately was Fast X, as you guys tried to hodgepodge groupthink the summary, and it took an hour to get through that.
I said that because I wasn't in charge, and it was DJ, right? DJ was doing the summary, and he was doing a really bad job, which in your defense, DJ, is because the movie is confusing and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were getting to the part where Charlize Theron is fighting, and you're just like, oh my God, I give up. This is just, I'm so sorry. It's a mess.
That's the one where, they were trying to switch brains or something. And I was like,
You can be forgiven for getting confused at the part where they fight because they do it for no reason and it serves no purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are my moments for IMDb. We can put it. Diggins is the 2-time reigning IMDb.
So mad.
He is a beekeeper.
Oh, man.
Champion.
Oh, finally, something in this world I'm good at.
And it's Nando's fault, right? We could just lay that poop crown on you, Nando.
Absolutely not. We lay it on.
Nando does not accept the poop crown.
That's fine.
I do not.
That's fine.
That's a bummer, but you know what? That is what happened. Diggins won. Congratulations, Diggins. Let's get to those predictions.
Let's see. Prediction time.
Let's see if this will vindicate us.
We have to go from my triumph to my shame so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely can't remember who did well or poorly besides one that DJ got real wrong. So we'll see. But yeah, so the way we do these is, like I said, we'll talk about we'll go through them in our recapping, and then we'll talk about we'll do the predictions and then recap the things that are similar. What was the first prediction, I guess, that you want to do the big hit of 2023?
Typically we do what dies in 2023.
Oh yeah, that's true. That one is first. What did we say dies in 2023?
Well, Nando, what a great question that is. So we're going to start off with DJ. Do you remember what you thought was going to die in 2023?
Hell no, but I'm sure it was so... Oh no, was this a streaming service one?
It was.
Yeah.
So just a quick check. Can you download Peacock right now if you wanted to, or Paramount?
You can download Peacock.
Okay.
I was waiting for I was hoping Discovery Plus might go down, or there's this Paramount Plus merger with Warner. Maybe that. And I feel like if I get another 6 months, I'll be right. But I was so mad. I feel like I was so close, but there was no big death of a streaming service in 2023. So bummer.
That's exactly right. DJ predicted that streaming services would die. Diggins asked for him to shoot his shot and name some names. He said, no way Peacock survives. Discovery Plus is getting folded into Max. AMC Plus, gone. Paramount Plus does not exist. And I'm here to say Paramount Plus is hosting the Super Bowl. Peacock is streaming an NFL playoff game. Netflix increased their prices and didn't lose too many subscribers from what they say. And Peacock had the best TV show of the year, according to Nando, Twisted Metal. So, all in all,
I thought you were going to say
streaming services.
That's on the other one. That's on Paramount, I think. I don't know. It's one of the ones I don't have.
So, all in all, no streaming services died. Some got stronger. Now, as you said, maybe in 2023, but this is a big miss. A big miss.
That's fine. Give me 6 months. I think I'll still be okay. I think I was close. I was looking for niche ones too, because I was like, oh, was there some random one? It's nah, they're all still pretty much in the same thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, man, nothing's really died since Quibi.
Yeah.
I know.
Quibi took the sins of
only
the
good
whole
one.
world and died, and then they were all able to survive for a little longer.
Even like Movie Pass is somehow back. Like I know it's not a streaming service, but it was a thing that we agreed was dead, and now it's back somehow. So I don't know. And nothing truly dies.
Next up on the dies list is Diggins' guess. Now, Diggins, you doubled down on your Lost Tapes predictions that crypto would die, and I tried to harness my Gale from Baldur's Gate energy and question the wisdom of your decision in my last year's write-up by letting you know that in 2018 it crashed and it rose again. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a crypto bro. I'm a patent attorney that worked on a lot of patent applications in the blockchain and distributed ledgers, so I'm pretty well versed in the technology, and I've been following it passively. And despite my warnings, Diggins soldiered on like the Titan submersible, first predicting that there would be a 20% dip, and then getting some pushback and saying that, look, it's going to go 80% down. And the guys thought that was pretty good. They thought 20% was a given. Bitcoin started the year at $16,500 and ended the year at $42,860, a 159% increase.
Now, hold on here a second.
I knew this is going to happen.
That might be that Bitcoin's doing a little bit better, but I have some evidence I would like to submit to the court, which is the well-documented phenomenon that nearly every NFT ever minted is now worthless.
That's a very good point. NFTs are like art. They were a way to kind of money launder during the pandemic, and I don't consider those cryptocurrency. Those are just part of the blockchain technology.
I was going to say, Diggins,
I feel like I'm being persecuted.
I actually, I don't know. The problem is I don't know enough about cryptocurrency, but like, I'll say this. Can we weigh Diggins' prediction just on Bitcoin, which is the one, but if all the other shit coins are gone, was Diggins kind of right?
So I
even
looked
if
this
Bitcoin
up.
is strong.
Yeah, Ethereum is also doing pretty well, and even Dogecoin, one that is silly, is doing at least as well. Like if you could buy Dogecoin in the beginning of the year at 73 or 7 cents or whatever, and then you could buy it in this year for 8 cents. So you would have made money on that. Not a recommendation, but yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of the other meme coins or like scam coins or whatever people call them that did fold, but it does seem like the ones that people use as money, those are still around, except for Sam Bankman-Fried's one, which that one's probably not doing super hot.
Yeah, so that was like a coin on his actual trading platform that was tied to that. So when that trading platform was exposed to be the Ponzi scheme it definitely lost all its value.
Interesting.
All right, next up we have Nando's prediction. Nando, you initially predicted that Twitter would die in 2023, and on that guess alone, you would have ran away like the W, like Everything Everywhere All at Once did at the Oscars. I mean, the Twitter brand died in 2023.
That's
For
true.
reasons unknown, Elon changed the name of one of the most valuable IPs to a single generic letter X. So edgy.
Now,
unfortunately, you continued on by staking a very specific and bold claim, one so bold that Bill Maher should have awarded you a Cojones Award for it.
Oh, I miss
You said Twitter
would
not
have
die.
done so in racist garb, pretending to be Muslim.
Oh my God, you did that this week. Yeah, that was true.
Oh boy. You said Twitter would not die from user migration, but instead would completely collapse the code, akin to the Southwest collapse of 2022. And for that, I have to give you an incorrect on this one. Maybe 2024, the wheels fall off, but the platform, formerly known as Twitter, survived into 2024. Now, DJ, Marvel snapped his prediction that Twitter would still be working. So you get 1,000 cubes. They're not redeemable for this game, but you get them.
Wow, that's enough to get you into what, like
we were
bronze
Marvel snapping. That's because we're deep in it because it just come out last winter. Wow.
Yeah, not like now when we stopped playing completely.
Now, Roger, you can experience another. Actually, this is almost exclusively a before we start recording phenomenon, which is seeing my eyes glaze over as the two of them start talking about Marvel Snap.
We're still in it, baby.
Diggins, the season just started. You have no idea how much restraint I'm using to not talk about how much this is not going well for me.
Scar is so hot right now.
Is
Scar
he though? I barely see him.
No, it's not.
Sierra is more
Lion
in
King
meta than I
Scar
feel
is
like
in Marvel
Scar
Snap?
is.
Yeah, it's the Disney brand. Now everything.
I mean, yeah, that
That's
makes
right.
sense. They're
Yeah,
merging
they've
it with
merged
Lorcana.
Lorcana, yeah. Remember that?
Gotta snap.
And DC Universe also showed up for a brief second.
That's what you should have said. Died. The DC card game.
I don't even think it existed at the time.
So I would rank that. I think it's Nando 1, me 2, Diggins 3.
I would like to, for the record, state that while it is true that officially Twitter's name has been changed to X, this is a change so little acknowledged by anyone that Elon himself still calls it Twitter.
Yep.
And whenever Elon says goes, right, Diggins? That's your classic catchphrase. I'll follow him to the gates of hell. Elon, my man. Hashtag memes. Stan Elon. It's all go to Mars in a big old fireball.
So I officially have no winner for what dies in 2023. It's too much not winning for my taste.
I'll give it to Nando. My crown. I'll give it my cubes. You get my cubes.
We're going to be so not winning with us in charge. You're going to be tired of all the not winning we do.
That's fair.
Next up, we have the big hit of 2023.
Ooh, okay.
Genuinely
Diggins?
have no idea what I said.
Diggins, you picked Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, which at the time was Mission Impossible 7. I don't know if we knew it was a Part 1 at the time. And honestly, very good guess last year, right? You know, you've got the dad energy of Top Gun riding into 2023. They have an F-14 jet-sized hole in their movie-going hearts. They have everyone's favorite Messiah, Tom Cruise, in the movie. You predicted a top 3 finish. Yeah, a top 3 finish was predicted. The group and I, listening on the pod, thought, yeah, easy. But for reasons unknown, maybe they wanted to wait till Part 2 came out. The audience wasn't there. Mission Impossible was 8th in the box office behind Barbie, Mario, Oppenheimer, Guardians, Fast X, Spider-Man, and The Little Mermaid. So ultimately, I don't think it could be a big hit, hitting number 8 on the box office.
I think number 8 movie of the entire year. I'll accept that because I said top 3, that the prediction is not correct. I think that is a pretty big hit.
I don't think as a prediction you can say a $100,000 million whatever movie starring Tom Cruise is going to be a big hit. Even counts as a prediction in my book. If a big hit can be anywhere in the top 30 grossing movies of the year.
Top 10.
It's it was weird. I think it was, I don't know if it came down to scheduling, but I do remember that movie getting scheduled into oblivion because it had to go after Barbie and Oppenheimer, but before something else that kind of ate its lunch. So
was it after them? I thought it was before.
Oh, maybe it's before them, but after something else. Whatever it was.
I think it was
like,
between them and Fast X.
No, Fast X was like May, I think, right? I don't remember. It could have been Flash, maybe, but
Tom Cruise's favorite movie.
It was his favorite movie. That still makes sense.
Next up, we have Nando's big hit of 2023, which was Succession. And the Supreme Court rates this as our first correct response.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What stands out, too, we didn't know because a month before the premiere, it was announced that it was the last season, which was kind of crazy to have happen. And I think that drove a lot of why it was popular this year, particularly compared to other years. But the final season delivered. It was dramatic, funny, cringy, and interesting characters and plots. Everybody, I think, loved it. The episode Connor's Wedding scored a 9.9 and is one of the top rated on IMDb. Nominated for all the awards in 2024. So, Nando, you are the best boy of the Logan Roy family. Yes. I award you control of Roystar Co. And I think you're going to win this category. But let's see. Maybe DJ can pull out the upset. Because, DJ, do you remember what you thought the big hit of 2023 would be?
Hell nah.
You picked John Wick 4.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly, obviously wrong. But, like, if you think about it, it could have been.
It could have been.
It could have been. So.
It could have been, and unfortunately, it didn't even crack the top 15. It ended up 16 on the worldwide box office, and I don't even think it was the biggest Keanu Reeves property of the past year because Phantom Liberty, which was a DLC for Cyberpunk, really was a ratings review. It sold 4.5 million copies. So not only
made
was
everyone
the movie
think
not
Cyberpunk is good now.
Yeah, it's good now. It's a good thing. So DJ, I think a big whiff here. A big
That's fine.
Whiff
I never get
John
these
Wick.
right. I never get
So the
these
big
right.
winner of Big Hit for 2023 is Nando for me. He's going to take the W.
Very good. Yeah, that Succession, man. It was, I mean, it's a good show. And I think DJ at the time had not watched it and started watching it and caught up right before the episode.
Roy's
glad.
wedding. Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad to see people.
Yep, it was
Not Connor's
Roy's wedding.
Connor's wedding.
Roy's wedding, yeah.
Connor Roy's wedding. You know, you just say it shorten it to Roy's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
You should have called it Roy's wedding. Yeah, crazy ending gets spoiled.
Nando, good job. You predicted that one of the most widely popular in internet circles shows that everyone loved and memed about constantly would continue to do well. It was very bold.
You
and
could have
brave
made
of
that
you.
prediction. Like you could have said that, Diggins.
Yeah, and I would venture a guess. I don't know if this is true, but it might be the #1 like most talked about show of the year by the metrics this is usually judged by. It was so happening. Like it's hard to remember because it was like also a March. April kind of thing. Yeah, March. So like it doesn't feel like it now, but it was everywhere.
It was.
So,
yeah.
I felt pretty good about that, and it was great. Like it really was like a excellent show that. I think when award season comes up, we'll all kind of remember it again. But yeah.
And the big thing is it ended up being out of a surprise the last season. At the time in December, we didn't know it was the last season. A month before it came out, it was announced it was. So that made it part of the big conversation, even more so. All right.
I feel good.
A category that always gives this group trouble. We have the biggest bomb of 2023.
Then I said something pretty smart and cool.
Next year, I'm just picking a movie that comes out the next day because there's no fucking point in picking a bad movie that's going to bomb because they just delay it every single year.
Nando, you are 100% correct on that one.
Upsetting.
So Nando, you picked Craven, and you know what? We saw the trailer. We all should be pretty confident it's going to be a bomb in 2024.
It's going to be a bop, you mean? It's going to be like one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life? I think that's what you mean?
That's going to be Madam Web. We all know that.
That's right, yeah.
Good point.
Offshoot DC privilege.
Oh, man, yeah. Fucking Craven. It might roll over because I really do want it to. I don't want to like let it off the hook, but...
Are you confident that it will be worse than Madam Web?
I think a Madam Web at least has the potential of being kind of silly. I think Craven will, but that Craven also has Russell Crowe. I don't know. It's really hard to figure out which one is going to be the bigger bomb.
You love Russell Crowe so much that he was the inspiration for your Christmas presents for us this year.
That's right. Yeah. And he's the inspiration for my Christmas presents every year, to be fair. Sometimes it just ends up being that I think Russell Crowe would want me to get this person, a hula hoop or something. But in this case, because of his, connection to the character, became that. But,
excellent.
Yeah.
And then your nuclear take didn't fare any better because you went with Transformers Beast Wars, and that ended up number 12. Made $438 million on a $200 million budget. So overall, a big dud. Now, a market improvement from last year.
Mm-hmm. I'll take it.
And I just want you all to know that. Roger, you said your nuclear take was Transformers Beast Wars, and my first thought was like, oh, that didn't come out either.
They made that movie. It was great.
A movie I saw.
And we reviewed.
Yeah, it just fully left my mind.
You've caught the DJ syndrome where you forget what movies you've seen.
Now I only forget movies if they're very forgettable.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. I'm not going to argue that I think it actually bombed, but it did kind of what Mission Impossible did, where it didn't not bomb, but it also didn't hit. It hit right in the middle. And I'm not surprised having seen it, but I'm honestly kind of where Diggins is, where I'm like, oh yeah, that was this year.
And you had a backup guess that you should have went with because you said you could see Shazam being a bomb, and oh boy, was that a bomb! Number 37 worldwide.
Should have went with your gut.
Yeah, go with your gut. Yeah. All right, next up, DJ. Do you remember what you thought would bomb?
I remember.
God, did I say Mario?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Mamma mia.
Your normal take was Mario because, and I quote, "You didn't think there is an audience for this movie." And you know what? You were right. If you do not count roughly 160 million people who went to the theaters to see Mario.
If you don't count every child in America, then you were correct.
Yeah.
There wasn't really an audience for that movie.
Now,
it's upsetting.
It wasn't a great movie, you guys. I think it was probably the most lowest energy pod you guys had because it was a slog for you to get through. But
I think we all are wrong in retrospect. I think with the hindsight of time, we were all wrong and the movie's like fine.
I stand by everything I said. That movie's not very good.
I think we were all mostly at fine, but that was the point. It was just kind of boring. Like the things that happened seemed like they were going to happen. Jack Black wasn't as funny as he should have been. Like all that stuff is
that Peaches song took off though, man. That Peaches song
exactly, and that is the thing with that. It was mediocre. Like a mediocre Jack Black song got all this attention. It's like, what's wrong with me? Like I don't get it. He's in Minecraft now, so we'll get another shot at a Jack Black video game movie thing, and Borderlands. Actually, he's
I was going to say, when is that Borderlands movie coming out?
So.
When I was looking stuff up for this isn't going to be any of my predictions. So I just want to say I saw that and I was like, oh, I wonder, that could be something that I could see being good. And like, I could put as my surprisingly good prediction or whatever. And then I saw it was directed by Eli Roth and I was like, never mind.
But it's got not only Jack Black, but also Tar herself, I believe, is in it. Cate Blanchett is playing one of the characters. So, she doesn't do non-good movies. She's only
but she's going to be a woman in an Eli Roth movie, so it's going to be a countdown on screen before she's killed, raped, or both.
Wow. I've not seen the Thanksgiving movie he made this year, but I hear it's okay. But she ain't in it, so don't.
And then DJ, for your nuclear take, you're riding that buzz from Lightyear, and you're nailing the prediction that you were going for another big swing. And you said Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen,
what did Chris Pratt do to you?
We are not to be held for our nuclear takes like that. Those are just, we put them out there to see what happens. That's I maintain that.
Now, DJ, you should feel good that you did not pick the number 1 and number 2 grossing movie / the top 3 grossing movie of all time, like Nando did last year, picking Avatar and Top Gun.
That's right.
So Diggins, whatever you pick this year to bomb is going to be the biggest hit of 2024.
Oh man, yeah, Diggins. What was Diggins' predictions?
I've already got it. I'm already upset about that being a huge success.
All right, Diggins, do you remember what? I think you said no, but do you remember what you thought was going to bomb?
No. I thought about listening to that pod before we did this to remind myself everything I said, but I thought this would be funnier.
It always is. You predicted Hunger Games to be a big bomb, and it really wasn't. You thought, rightfully so, that the young adult movie crowd had passed, and going off of the Fantastic Beast failures, that there wasn't an audience for it, but I think young adult audience, they still want to see movies. They just like their content sourced from a better creator, because The Hunger Games was pretty successful, right? Number 16 on the box office.
In my defense, this is before I watched those movies and realized they were good.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't know they were great.
And it looked like it turned a profit. It had $322 million worldwide on a $100 million budget. So pretty successful.
Yeah, I would say out of all of ours, I think the only one that didn't turn a profit might be Transformers. I think all the rest of them did pretty well money-wise. We didn't pick any of the ones that you could say, well, that was a bomb because even though it made a lot of money, it cost too much to make, so it still lost the studio money. Because there were a lot of those this year. We managed to miss Indiana Jones, all those
Marvels,
yeah, Shazam.
Yeah, that would have been huge for us.
Mm-hmm.
And DJ, I don't want to rub salt on the wound, but you did during your prediction say that you should have picked Marvels, and I agree, you should have picked Marvels.
Meh. I thought girls could get it done, they said.
Well, DJ, how silly! Of course they can't.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of girls, for his nuclear take, Diggins went under the sea and picked Little Mermaid to be his bomb. And look, he knew it was a bold claim, right? He said that the previous live-action Disney movies print money. But he said the water effects are wonky, and look, there are weird racists. And you know what? Not a bad proposition.
Good point, past me, actually. You know what? You've won me over, even though knowing it's wrong.
But I think the problem is the weird racist crowd was distracted by the Bud Light controversy, as well as a lot of them were in jail for their January 6th field trip. So at the end of the day, the Little Mermaid harnessed their inner Darius the Rumble Grouch and screamed, "Bring me my money!" And they landed as the 7th best movie of 2023.
I just gotta really quickly, of course, say Darius Emmanuel Grouch III, aka the Rumble.
And that's why I put it in there.
This is another one of those where, like, I do think this movie cost an insane amount of money to produce. I want to say it might be a $300 million movie. So I don't know if this was profitable I think Disney, only one movie was profitable this year, right? Which is Guardians 3. All the rest, even if they made a lot of money, were so expensive that they couldn't make it back. So
yeah, it looks like it made
almost like it's a kind of endemic problem with the studios right now.
Yeah. So I think Diggins, while not totally correct, obviously, you kind of got at it, which is like, this wasn't the $1 billion, Beauty and the Beast mega hit that would have turned this into something that was like pop, or Lion King, I guess also was that.
I haven't turned in a Nando 2022 performance.
No,
what we're getting at here.
So far I'm the only one with the point, so I think we're really, stretching to, scratch at the king here.
You monster.
All right. So that ends that category with a no winner, because I really can't in good conscience give anybody a win for those bomb takes.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Next up is Blank Will Surprise Everyone for Being Blank. Diggins, you're up first with having the interesting prediction. One of the most unique predictions I think we've ever had in mostly nitpicking history. That you predicted Indiana Jones will surprise everyone for having the best. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Didn't I say Harrison Ford would surprise everyone?
That's right.
By being awake?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what you originally said, and then they were like, I believe DJ pushed you on actually making a serious one, and I think you came on that he would have his best Harrison Ford performance in a while, but he would be awake the entire time for his performance.
He was sleeping at least twice in that movie. He was unconscious a couple of times, and for a while he kind of died or something. So Indiana Jones himself, not very awake.
50-50, maybe 50-50.
No, if there's a better one from one of you guys, I'm willing to surrender it. And I don't like that movie, but I think it is generally agreed that he is far more active and like putting in the work than he has been in recent years in that movie.
I said I liked him in the movie, so sure. If Nando's and I's are awful, Diggins, you get it.
Hold on. I think most people that like this kind of stuff, not me, say that Shrinking is one of the best performances Harrison Ford has given in his entire life. And for that alone, I'd say maybe that can't win. I'd also say in Force Awakens, he wasn't bad. It was the other ones he's bad. Like when he comes back as the ghost with his earring in, like that one's not good. But the other ones,
I think it was okay. I think he's pretty bad in Force Awakens, personally.
Nando, it's like you were reading the court's briefs, because that was our exact point, that even if we think that his performance was a little bit better than the Crystal Skull, the movie was and universally at the beginning of the year, everyone touted Harrison Ford for being really good in Shrinking in that supporting role he played. So it's tough for him to have the best.
If I wasn't bullied, my prediction would have been really good.
I
don't know, man.
I don't know.
That is and I believe I said this at the time, it's such a lukewarm, barely prediction. Like, I'll do my 2024.
Oh, an actor who famously is like stopped giving a shit years ago will put in good performances this year. What a lukewarm take.
Harrison,
no, you said would be awake. I'm fine
That's
with your
obviously what I meant, that he would be doing good performances.
He will crash an airplane into your house tomorrow for that
he
slander.
He will.
But also, as I think I said during the pod, this is the one he actually cares about. So I think we could expect him. If this was a Star Wars movie, I'd be like, that's a crazy prediction. He doesn't really care about those. Yeah. But this is the one I think he has a really good like financial stake in. So like he tries.
We'll table it and see how the other results play out. But
we'll see Captain America New World Order. That'll be the perfect example of like what's the worst he can do. It like green screen Hulk makeup or whatever. Like under those conditions, we'll really know what is it like when Harrison Ford tries.
I just want his head CGI'd on a Hulk body. No change of the actual head. It's just that head on the Hulk.
I want them to have to CGI the mustache because he won't even grow one. And like I don't think he did. So I think they probably had to CGI a mustache on him. That's pretty good.
Get that Henry Cavill.
Yeah, use that technology. Put it on negative 1,000 mustache, points. That's how you do it.
Nando, you predicted that Wonka will surprise everyone for being one of the best movies of the year. And it ended the year strong, 14 on the worldwide box office right now. Great music. Diggins and you loved it as a movie, had a good time with it. Solid prediction. I'll take Diggins is raising an objection, it looks like, so I'll hear his claim.
As someone who has recently maybe started putting together a list of what the best movies of the year would be, Wonka's great, and perhaps in that conversation, I would say it is not one of the best movies of the year. I
mean, and you have a stake in not saying so because of this fine competition. I understand that. But I'll just say, if you have a heart, if you have imagination, a spirit of a child inside of you, then it is. If not, then it's I don't know, Saltburn or something is probably your favorite movie of the year. But this is a movie for everybody. Yeah, I hear it's TikTok likes it or something. So that's never a good sign. I think Wonka was at least pretty good. I don't know if one of the best, but I feel okay with that prediction.
I will say from my expectations to how good it is certainly, I would give it the yearbook superlative most improved.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
All right, DJ, you're going to end this debate because your prediction was Oppenheimer will surprise everyone for being the best Nolan movie.
Yeah.
And at the time, there was a lot of pushback. I thought that was a bold claim. Everyone was pretty skeptical, but Oppenheimer was number 2 of the box office. During the podcast, everyone ranked their movies, and DJ picked Dunkirk, Prestige, Oppenheimer. Look, he has the dad war energy. It was just, Diggins and Nando picked Prestige, Oppenheimer, and Dark Knight. And then during the Blue Beetle podcast, Nando noted that on a rewatch, it was the most Nolan movie, perhaps. And I think for all of those, that it's a strong prediction and maybe one of the strongest we have this year, especially because at the time, when you made this prediction a year ago, there was noted skepticism, and I think rightfully so.
I think that is a good prediction that turns out to be right. If you guys want to debate whether it's not the best Nolan movie, but calling that shot and how big it was, I think you got to give that to me.
So what I'm learning is every time we make a prediction in this episode or the other two do, I should be like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. That's definitely going to happen.
Yes.
And wouldn't be a big deal if it did. So that when we look back later, the fact that I thought that can be used as points against you.
Mm-hmm.
Diggins, don't gamify the podcast. Be earnest.
I'm here to win, DJ.
Yeah.
So apparent.
Now, to be fair, DJ's first prediction was that Nolan will surprise everyone for being good at making movies again, and you guys were like,
right.
"What is this? This is some BS." So
we bullied you out of that one, so you should be unlike me, who was robbed by his bullying, you should be thanking us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Fine. Thank you guys for making a bold prediction. That was correct. I'm glad that one crushed it.
Wow.
So even there was some debate on Indiana Jones and Harrison Ford and Wonka, I think ultimately DJ takes this pretty handedly that Oppenheimer surprised everyone for being the best Nolan movie.
Quick, Diggins, me and you need to start a Twitter campaign to get Insomnia to be a hidden gem or something. We need to get people back on the Insomnia train.
Hey,
no, see,
remember
the problem with the algorithm.
Remember how much you all loved Memento? I mean,
it's a dark movie.
You guys are going about this the wrong way because of the way the algorithm is, and we've seen the code, right? You have to convince everyone Oppenheimer's bad because that will get you the most engagement.
We got to figure out how Oppenheimer is problematic.
Yes. I can't think of one way. This is not going to work. They've thought of everything with this Oppenheimer movie. He's a good guy. He didn't do anything wrong.
No, Nando, the problem is you are kind of correct on the they thought of everything part, which is that there have been several rounds of this is why Oppenheimer is problematic discourse, and Oppenheimer weathered them all.
Yeah, they did have bits in the movie where Oppenheimer agreed with us, so it's tricky.
All right, we're on to the final category.
Oof.
2023 will be the year of blank.
Oh yeah.
I remember mine, and we can just go ahead and say it was wrong right now.
I
You think
mean,
yours was wrong?
yours was wrong-ish.
Mine
I think
wasn't,
yours.
maybe not wrong, but it wasn't that right either.
It wasn't what it was the year of, but it
Yeah.
was like, yeah.
Well, let's jump into it. Diggins, what did you predict 2023 would be the year of?
I believe this was the thing I absolutely came up with at the very last second, and I
Correct.
said that it would be the year of the actor turned director.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now, I think this prediction ran the full spectrum of being incorrect and correct, right? Cocaine Bear by Elizabeth Banks was not good. Number
Nope.
50, real big bust. Creed 3 by Michael B. Jordan, pretty solid, 18. The Bradley Cooper movie that no one could remember was
Yeah.
Maestro on Netflix, and
Mhm.
there's a good chance he gets an Oscar nomination out of that. But the crown jewel of your prediction that gives you some weight here is Greta Gerwig's Barbie, right? Number one movie of the year, the movie phenomena and event of the year. I would say, and we can talk about it, probably the biggest go to the movie campaign since Endgame. And just kind of the
At that time, Christopher Nolan came to all our houses and said, "If you don't go to Tenet, I'll kill your pets."
That was
He
a strong
tried.
campaign. That
Yeah,
was a
I think
strong
he tried really
campaign.
hard.
I did see Tenet in a theater after that.
I don't like it very much, but I saw it. You know, I like my pets more than I didn't like it.
and it made DJ think that Christopher Nolan was bad at making movies. So I think it was a really impactful movie.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Diggins' prediction. I think pretty solid. Barbie really saves your butt on this one.
See, the thing is, like, I wasn't thinking of Barbie because while it is true that Greta Gerwig is an actor turned director, and I will take it, it's just like this isn't like her first time directing.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like thinking of it. But
Although
again,
I
I
don't
will
even-
take it.
Good news is you thought about this because Elizabeth Banks isn't her first movie.
That's
either.
right.
She had Charlie's
Yeah,
Angels.
she made
and
that Charlie
you,
Angels movie.
you explicitly named Cocaine Bear, Creed 3, and Barbie. So I'm giving it to you.
Didn't
Great. I didn't remember that, but good job past me.
Didn't Always Sunny also direct a movie that was pretty bad? And I want to say Chris Pine had a
Oh.
directing movie this year that was pretty bad.
Yeah,
according
that
to people
Charlie
that have
Day
seen it.
movie that Red Letter Media covered. I didn't even know it came
Yeah.
out, but they just...
The
Oh.
Chris Pine movie was just kind of meh. The Charlie Day movie is apparently one of the worst things that's come out this year.
Yeah, I forgot that those even. I mean, at the time, I don't even think we knew the Charlie Day movie was happening, and I think the Chris Pine movie got a lot of attention during the strike because he was able to promote it as an actor because he directed it, and everybody wanted to have people promoting things. So, yeah, but it wasn't very good.
Yeah, the Charlie Day movie of making him a silent character for the whole movie is a choice.
Yeah, man, poor Charlie. He's doing
Yeah.
fine. He had a good year, probably.
Next up, DJ, do you remember what your prediction was?
Heck
what
no, I'm
point?
sure it was wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember DJ's either.
Was it some multiversal shit? Or
No,
did I-
that was 2 years
no.
ago.
You,
DJ
I think
predicted
you,
this would be the year of him winning the IMDb contest.
Ah.
Oh,
No.
Nando stole it from me.
Mm-hmm.
No, you. I think you had heard Diggins talk about Harrison Ford so much that you said this would be the Harrison Ford-assance, where he is reborn.
Yeah.
I don't get it for shrinking. No, that's not enough.
So Indiana Jones, nothing special. General Ross did not happen. The Yellowstone
Yeah.
prequel, 1923, wasn't really a big hit,
No.
but Shrinking was his best performance. So it's not the worst guess ever. For Renaissance, you know, we have Brendan Fraser in 2022, his career Renaissance, and it doesn't really rise to that level. But I mean, after some of these picks you've had, it's definitely one of your better wrong picks for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I actually have a really good 2024 will be the year of that I feel very good about. So I'll make up for it. And everyone clip this so
Clip
we know in a year that like I felt really good and will be wrong, but I feel really good about it.
Now, I don't remember this if we said this on air or afterwards, but do you remember the actor who I was like, we should have
Yes.
picked him because he's
I
going to
have
have a
that.
year. Yeah.
Give me 1 second,
And
Nando.
he
Don't spoil
certainly
it. I
did.
got you.
Mhm.
So Nando.
Oh, I don't remember this, but I could just tell who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nando, on that point, you did have a prediction we'll get to, but you said at the end of the podcast, after everyone guessed, that he's going to come out of the year real big. And that person was Jonathan Majors.
All over the news. That's all you can ask for.
We can't say that Nando's wrong. All publicity's good publicity.
Apparently. That was, man, what a year for him though. Like grand opening, grand closing. Just Ant-Man, big, everybody didn't like it, but everybody, you know what it was too? It was that kind of backhanded compliment of like, Jonathan Majors was really good though in it, and I didn't think the movie was very good, but I'm excited for him. And then like a week after that happens, and we had to all sit through Loki, and then all the trial wraps up right at the end of the year. Just in case anyone's confused, it was like, nope, he did guilty of something, and then everybody fired him. So yeah, I would say that you could make the case it might be the worst year, like just 365 days any celebrity has had in Hollywood.
Really? What about Harvey Weinstein?
I mean, like, sure. But as far as going from like the top of like everyone's most excited actor, this guy's taken over, to fired by everyone, never going to hear from them again. They have that movie where they're the bodybuilder that I don't think Disney is ever going to release, or like it doesn't seem like they are because of him, which is like crazy because that movie was supposed to be the Oscar contender for this year. Like he was going to get an Oscar for it. And yeah, it's just insane thinking back. I mean, not insane in like a, wow, you guys, wrong choice. Insane, like a look at how far things can change.
Yeah, look at how far cancel culture has gone.
yeah, right. He is our Lydia Tarr 2023 or 2023. Yeah, no, he sucks. And yeah.
But thankfully, that wasn't your choice. Your actual guess was that 2023 will be the year of doing a good one this time, aka the zombie movies. Mm-hmm. So you noted that there would be Wonka, D&D, Transformers, and Mario that would be improvements on the older movies.
And end it there. We got it. 1 point for me. All right, let's move on to next year.
I don't know about those last two even.
Unfortunately, like Jonathan Majors, the rest of the year wasn't as strong because you had Ant-Man as a choice, Indiana Jones, and then you put a lot of faith in the Baby in Microwave CGI from my nightmares fever dream that was Flash. So
Tom and
real
Stephen King.
Mixed bag of zombie movies for you.
Yeah.
And so with that, my court opinion is that Diggins is going to take the 2023 will be the year of, because Barbie was so big. And
surprisingly huge.
Yeah.
Biggest movie of the year, $1.5 billion.
You know what, to that too? Multiple people on my subway train going home on Halloween were dressed as Greta Gerwig from the Barbie behind the scenes video. So like the Greta Gerwig stood out too. That was part of it. In that, like, I think there's probably a lot of people who forgot that Michael B. Jordan directed Creed 3. But like, yeah.
Well, because the only thing we were talking about was Jonathan Majors.
Because he was so good at it, and we all liked him, and we were like, man, he's going to be a big star. And then,
well, no, the stuff had come out by then, so it was more like we came out of Creed 3 kind of looking down and shuffling our feet and being like, he is really good in it.
Yeah, he was really good in that.
So unsurprisingly, after 5 categories, we have 1 point each, and there's a 3-way tie between the 3 of you again.
Absolutely incredible. We simply don't know how to do anything but trip and fall down on our faces.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem is, last year, I kicked it to 2023. I said, look, there's too many bad takes. I gave out so many Elon points last year. There were so many bad choices. This year, more of just wrong choices. And so I feel like we have to pick a winner. And I went through based off of people winning. And my choice for the winner of the prediction crown for 2023 is going to be Nando. He had more right than wrong.
Thank you so much.
And a lot of close calls. And so, Nando, congratulations. You have the prediction crown for 2023. Your Council of Kings has Diggins, who is wearing the IMDb crown. And DJ, you are around.
Yeah, head juror, as far as I'm concerned. You're the foreman of our jury, if as it were.
I'm the Grand Vizier who will one day stab you in the back and steal your throne.
Now, I do want to thank for this win, Craven, for not coming out and secretly being good and being a huge hit and really fucking this whole thing up. Maybe that is what we should do every year, is just punt the bomb, make it so that we never actually have to determine whether it was good or bad, because that could have really messed it up.
Yeah, that's been a historically bad category for you all to predict. It's not a good one. You guys have bombed the bomb a good bit.
Yeah. Now that we've got that taken care of, we got to talk about what actually was the year of 2023 and stuff. You guys, I told them today to write these things down. I think they probably have a couple of them. And then they'll be able to...
For once, only missing one.
All right. DJ?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So these are the actual things. This is we'll talk about it a little bit, but some of them are probably sentiments that we will echo that we've talked about already. What was the biggest failure of 2023? DJ, would you like to start?
So just quick question. Is it like a movie or a TV show?
Could be anything.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I have Batman and Associated Things was the biggest failure of 2023. So we had I know Michael Keaton Batman in The Flash was people are like, oh, it's cool he's back, but I think overall it's kind of lame and dud-ish and just not very inspired. There's that really bad Gotham Knights TV show.
Came out.
Which reminded
It did come out.
It's reminded me of the bad Gotham Knights video game, but that was 2022, so that doesn't count. So I just feel like Batman didn't have any kind of shine. I didn't watch that weird Christmas thing on, what was it, Prime Video?
I hear that was good.
All right. Well, I mean, sure. But if a tree falls in the forest and no one gets hit by it, was it good? Maybe, but no one knows. So I just think Batman just took a dip this year.
He had a rough
We never
year.
had cool Batman things. Yeah.
I
feel
mean,
like a lot of years just some good Batman things that we have.
Wasn't this year also the year Kevin Conroy died? Was that this year?
No, I think
that last year?
That was
Was that
2022.
22?
Yeah.
That wasn't great.
That would be good if that lined up. Not that, that was good.
Yeah, then DJ would have been happy and celebrating.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And there's that Suicide Squad game that Batman's in that they keep delaying. So.
I know. It's too bad that didn't come out this year, or in 23, so it could be bad. It's
Yeah,
bad
I was
in
gonna say,
24.
it's too bad for you that game that everyone thinks looks really bad didn't come out.
I know. It's a shame for me.
I will say there's a case for this not being Batman's year specifically because, in that Flash movie, he just died a bunch of times, including that time where he just flies into the plane by accident for no reason. And Barry's like, there's a shield. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he pulls up and it's like, didn't think that through. He sucks.
Now I know someone's gonna butt and me and be like, no, DJ, there was this really cool Batman comic where Batman was awesome. But I just feel
Batman has had good comics this year. I'll say that. But.
Well,
Yeah, but 100,000 people read comics, so
yeah.
So those things don't count. But so by other media non-comic category. So that's my biggest failure of 2023.
Now I have one counterpoint to you, DJ, which is that Batman in the Flash movie also briefly got to spend time being George Clooney again.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
true.
that a win?
I don't know, because I feel like it reminded me what Roger's shaking his head. No, I love it because I feel like it gave us a glimpse of what could have been but wasn't. So it was like a second kick in the teeth. So I actually think that also makes it worse.
I don't say it was a win for us. I'm saying the metafictional idea of Bruce Wayne got to experience being as handsome as George Clooney again.
That's fair. That's fair.
And Ben Affleck, because he was also Batman in that movie. There was so much Batman. Also, if I remember correctly, George Lopez says Batman is a fascist in Blue Beetle. So there's that negative Batmaning.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
I'm sure
So
there was some bit where Shazam complained about Batman too. No one's ever remembered that movie, so we can't remember if that was there. But they do that stuff all the time.
Yeah, so, sorry, Batman. Hope you have a better 2024.
I mean, he probably will, right? There's that Caped Crusader show is probably going to come out, and they're probably going to cast an actor for the next one. So that'll be something. When does the next Batman movie come out? The Pattinson one? That's not next year, is it? I think it's the year after. Yeah. But then the Penguin show will probably make us all love Batman again. It's going to be pretty good.
Right. Nando's all in on the Penguin show, which as I'm sure we'll find out later in this episode.
Yeah, I love it. Diggins, what about you? What do you think was the biggest failure of 2023?
So I have a specific one. I said the biggest failure of 2023 was the MCU's future. So not necessarily that the MCU itself had the worst 2023, but that we enter this year with like everything that we thought that they were going to be doing, like going forward, and they were building towards, just completely blown up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, we'll see. You know.
Yeah, feels like an in-pass prediction thing, but you know.
I mean, it's not a prediction thing. We're saying, looking back, this was a really bad year for their future plans. Maybe
all right, you're declaring it's like dead.
I'm not. Wow, it's almost like somebody's not listening to me.
I'm sorry.
Well, we will see. I do think like there's something to the future of them being super up in the air right now, because a lot of stuff is currently being rewritten.
True.
That's what I'm trying to say here, is like it completely blew up their plans. Maybe they will like rewrite and recover and everything will be fine. That's not what this is about. This is about how they came in hot with their Ant-Man, supposed to be like the cornerstone of like that new Ant-Man movie is going to like build on the Kang stuff and let us know what the future of this phase will be. And then nobody liked it. And then Jonathan Majors was a sex criminal. And then their other move, like the Marvels bombed hard. So like another sort of ability, trying to branch out like the TV shows and stuff and like start incorporating that into the wider universe. Like maybe they'll still be able to do that later, but it's really seeming like it's not working now. The only like unmitigated success that they had this year was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, a thing that was mostly about ending a part of the MCU.
What about Loki? You liked Loki.
I liked the ending of Loki, but
you
that
said
was
nice
also
things about Loki in the
pretty
podcast.
Definitive ending of that thing.
I mean, from what I understand, it'll be a big part of things going forward, but it definitely did get rid of the Jonathan Majors problem. That was nice.
My point is simply that, I mean, Nando, I think you would have to agree that like what they're going to be doing versus what they said they would be doing is like never been more unclear.
Yeah, it's tricky because they announced a bunch of things and then a lot of things happened that made a lot of that stuff not possible or whatever. Like even today or yesterday, Stephen Yeun is not in Thunderbolts anymore, but not by any, like just because of scheduling stuff, it seems like, or at least that's one of the examples. But I don't know. I think they're in a better spot than they were beginning of this year, just because they seem like they've taken the steps to rebuild. But
I don't think flux. Considering that Jonathan Majors stuff hadn't happened at the beginning of the year, I don't think you can really say that.
I mean, if you look back at like what all like if Jonathan Major stuff didn't happen and Marvel's was a hit and they never had to recalibrate, I'd say they're in a worse spot, because now they're in this like kind of, acknowledging their mistakes and maybe fixing things, as opposed to like Marvel's bombing, not great. Secret Wars bombing, a disaster. And like, I think they maybe have averted that path of disaster. We'll see. But you said it's too woke too. What do you mean by that? Too many native superheroes? You wanted 0 and they gave you more than 0?
That's right.
That's fair.
Exactly it.
Yeah.
It's the MHU. That's what Diggins said.
Yes.
It was muted, but we all saw it.
Which somehow means Hulk, I guess. Mm-hmm. In the same way that MCU meant Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
That's right. All right. Well, I will say, because I had shades of those in my things as well. And I don't want to say Disney was the biggest failure of 2023. And I don't want to say my joke answer, which was that submarine, which was the biggest failure of 2023.
Yeah,
easily.
Fair.
It was on the news for like a week and it was very funny.
Hold on, rewriting my remember when.
Right. I'm going to say, I don't know if this is the biggest failure. Yeah, no, I'll say I think Wish was the biggest failure of 2023. As this Disney 100-year celebration thing, just that movie didn't work. It wasn't fun in any of the ways it should have been. And like it came and went. Say what you will about Quantumania and like some of the Marvel things that weren't really good, but like they were okay. And like people kind of remember them a year back. But like I don't think, and it's only been like a month, and I don't think anybody remembers Wish. I think it'll go down as one of the big, and also it's like this weird like kind of cherry on top of the Disney 2023 Sunday of like, just in case you forgot how weird of a year this was for them. They made their 100th anniversary animated movie and nobody watched it. and the music was bad. So yeah, I would say there's a case for Wish. There's also a case for Marvel stuff too. So
And also, Mickey Mouse hit the public domain after 100
Yeah.
years of
Steamboat
copyright
Willie.
tickets.
Steamboat Willie
That's
hit
true.
the public domain.
Correct.
You can't do a modern Mickey Mouse thing still.
I don't know if you guys, I was going to announce this at the end of the podcast, but I'm lazily working Steamboat Willie into something I was doing too. Just kidding. But no, that's what everybody's doing this week. Although
I'm making
I
a
loved,
survival horror game.
Yeah.
Where have you ever thought about what it would be like if a wholesome character from your childhood was actually evil and mean?
As long as it's just a guy in a mask like that, then yeah, I have not thought of that before. But yeah, I think my favorite version of this was Big Joel put out a video on the Little Joel channel. It was just Steamboat Willie gay, and it was just a whole him watching it again, and it was like, hey, this is me, Steamboat Willie, I'm gay. Isn't that interesting? It's pretty funny. I said people should watch it. But yeah, well, those are failures. How about winners? Diggins, we can start with you. What do you think was the biggest winner of 2023?
Well, Nando, I think it's indisputable that the biggest winner of 2023 was young Mr. Martin Scorsese.
Ooh, interesting. Make your case.
Well, now, obviously, the most obvious of all, he had a movie that came out this year that was critically acclaimed and did surprisingly well at the box office for being a 3.5-hour long, depressing drama.
Mm-hmm.
And is being hailed as like, a master, at the height of his craft, like near the end of his life. Giving us one last gem. Although, he's probably going to make more movies, but he's getting up there. So just like really, really like a triumph, a feather in his cap in that sense. Also, tied in sort of with what I was saying before, a lot of the I think the movies that most lined up with, if you actually read his criticisms of like superhero movies, of being more like theme park rides and not really having like the sort of backbone of like character and theme and whatnot to be quote unquote real movies. Not to argue, like open up any argument about how right or wrong he is about that, but I think the movies that most fit that criticism mostly did really bad. Which I think kind of shows that he was onto something about it being something that audiences get tired of. Whereas the ones that I think are more movies, like your Guardians Galaxy, did better. So I think just as both a kind of like, it's a good moment for his career. He's doing all these interviews. He made this great movie, etc. And also, I think, in hindsight, being able to recognize the insight in a lot of what he's been criticized for saying, I think that makes it a pretty good year for Mr. Scorsese.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think the only real movie that like kind of not disproves it, but is like, if Super Mario Brothers wasn't a big hit, I'd say he went 10 for 10. That's the one theme park movie that I think did quite well this year.
Yes,
but all the rest of them I do think did bomb. However, I do think that doesn't count because they, like him, are Italians and he has to love them.
That's true. Italians get a pass.
Yep, much like Ferrari and a couple of other movies that came out this year. The Italian exemption. It's like how Scott can't fire his laser beams at his brother. It just doesn't work. Same way Scorsese cannot criticize a movie about Italians.
Like the famous Italian Chris Pratt.
That's exactly right. Exactly.
That's why they cast him in Garfield, because he's Italian and loves lasagna.
Loves lasagna. Yep.
As we cracked the code.
DJ, what about you? What do you think was the biggest winner of 2023? And don't say that submarine because it exploded. You can't forget about
Nando,
that.
It imploded.
That's true. It did implode. Yeah.
This is incredible. This is the most seamless transition we've ever had on this podcast. But my winner of 2023 is Chris Pratt.
Wow, huge year for Chris Pratt.
Huge.
I just don't know how you could be the star of like 2 of the top 5 movies and not just have it be your year. Like, and despite what people, he's at Garfield, despite what people feel about him, but like he's winning, man. Like he's winning by the metrics of like being in movies that people see, even if it's voice acting. So I'm giving it to Chris Pratt. Like, you get the crown, my dude.
It was there a season of that Terminalist show this year? Because he's on that on Amazon. That seems to do pretty well too.
Was there?
No, actually, it was last year. Okay.
I
wouldn't be surprised.
You want a fun fact, real quick? One of Michelle's cousins is a writer on the Terminalist.
Ooh.
Wow. So can you tell us all the spoilers for the Terminalist right now?
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't.
Who's on the list this year?
We've definitely made this joke before.
Probably. We love the Terminalist, and we love the Terminal. Are they going to ever merge?
We love the Terminal.
Tell them to bring back that guy.
This is blatant erasure. I was the only one who kind of liked the Terminal.
What are you talking about? I think we all were like, oh no, that movie's bad. Yeah, no, it's a bad movie. It had Andor in it. That part was cool.
We love Andor.
But yeah, no, Chris Pratt was good. You know what else is good about Chris Pratt? Two things. One, he didn't do anything bad. You know, no controversies. Mm-hmm. That's always nice. Two, his friend James Gunn just got the keys to all the rest of the movies in Hollywood. So he's going to get whichever one he wants. And I don't think they even wouldn't have given them to him because he's Chris Pratt. I'm sure if he just showed up, was like, I'm Batman now, they would have to let him be. But now it's like, he probably will either be Batman or his friend will be like, don't do that. Do this other thing instead. And it'll be good. Right. So yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. I think Chris Pratt, is proving himself to, despite some bumps on the road, largely follow the Kelsey Grammer model of he's learned to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It's huge.
It's so huge.
And he is also, I believe, from Washington, that area where Frasier lives. I think
Frasier was in Seattle. Yes.
Yeah, and I think Chris Pratt either lived there or had lived there for some point in his life. So that's probably where he learned from Kelsey Grammer. They probably met on the street that day. DJ's mom ran into him. Chris Pratt was also there.
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer was on the way to get some tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
Mm-hmm.
They were calling again.
It's big, it was a big year for him, right? He was in the Marvels and that Frasier reboot everyone hates. So pretty good. Pretty good. You're both wrong. The correct answer, Ayo Edebiri had the biggest, was the winner of 2023. An insane year when you break it down, too. I'm going to go through her, and right now I'm looking at this, like 15 IMDb credits for 2023. Some of them are things that don't really matter, but some of them are like big. I'm going to go through the small ones first. History of the World Part 2, she was in that, which like nobody really cared, but like that happened. Something called Kif, I don't know, TV series, she was in an episode. Show called Mulligan, I don't know if you guys remember this. It was like one of those animated shows that nobody likes.
You're really getting out of the gate strong on this one, Dan.
I'm getting the bad ones out of the way first, because she was, it's a bad thing. Something called The Sweeties, which I don't know what that is. She was in the Clone High reboot, which I don't hate. It's not as good as old Clone High, but it was okay. She was good in it.
All right, so far the best we've got is Don't Hate.
All right. She was in something called Big Mouth Burger, which I've never seen, but has a 9.1 on IMDb, so people seem to like that. She was in Big Mouth, a show I don't really care for, but people like. But then, she was in that episode of Black Mirror where the TV show was also Your Life, the one that everyone liked from the season, and everybody was also like, hey, Netflix, maybe you can't make that joke. That was good. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. She played MJ's band member friend or something in the very beginning, or not. Well, in the MJ's. Yeah. She was Glory. She was in I Think You Should Leave season 3, one of the greatest shows of the year. She's happy to be in that. Think she had bigger roles in Abbott Elementary, everybody's favorite show. She managed to sneak her way into that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. She played April O'Neil. Big role, very, very good movie, and she was like pretty big. Like she played a pretty big part in it. Unlike Spider-Man, she managed to get into Theater Camp, the best comedy of this year, even though her character did nothing that mattered and barely ever interacted with any of the other characters. It really did just seem like hey, Ayo wants to be in it, so we'll let her. And then the top two, Bottoms, which was more of a star vehicle for her.
Yeah, she was much more involved in the actual best comedy of the year, Bottoms.
Absolutely not. I mean, to be fair, she didn't play a role in the best comedy of the year, the one where Jennifer Lawrence has sex with a boy. I did like that movie. I think that movie's quite good. But then she was in Bottoms, and then she was in The Bear, which was like one of the biggest, maybe second biggest behind Succession show of this year. I wouldn't say this was like, what's up? Yeah,
nice
exactly.
Catch on Making sure you put Succession at the top there.
I wouldn't say this was like the most important, like, because she wasn't in either of the big episodes of The Bear or any of the 3 big ones, to be fair. She wasn't in the Christmas flashback one. She wasn't in the one that takes place in Norway or whatever. And she wasn't in the Richie-centric one, but she was still there. And she's like a second lead on that show. So like, I do think I've not seen a person, a single human being, be in this many things, and some of them are really good. As consistently. It probably was a like, this thing got delayed, this thing didn't get delayed, everything kind of lined up situation, because like she was supposed to be in Thunderbolts, which was supposed to come out next year, and that doesn't come out for another year or two, so she's got some time to catch up. But yeah, a very successful year, and she currently executive produces The Bear, so that's good for her. That's a nice thing. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. My only other one for this was maybe Margot Robbie, just because she got part of the back end of Barbie, which is insane. Like she's got so much money this year as a potential winner.
What about Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal? Yeah, The Last of Us, Mandalorian, but getting to be kind of the potential titular superhero.
I think if he had been cast in Fantastic Four with a really big cast that everyone loved, that would have maybe put him over the top. But yeah, I don't think I think he's missing it. The only other person I would say you could maybe give it to is Robert Downey Jr., just because he got off the MCU train at exactly the right time, and he's probably going to get the Oscar for Oppenheimer. But you know, let's do this one instead. This is the Remember When. I'll start. You guys remember when in 2023 they fired the Spokes Candies? You guys remember this?
Yeah.
Our beloved Spokes Candies.
The Spokes Candies got fired by M&M's, and then it turned out to be a dumb Super Bowl thing or something.
Like it always is.
Yeah, like it always is. But they kind of pretended, and it seemed like what they were going for was, we were too woke before, and we're going to change it up, and now it's Maya Rudolph. It was the dumbest thing I think we've ever seen, next to Baby Nut, another, Super Bowl ad thing.
Hey guys, remember Baby Nut?
But yeah, man.
Baby Nut.
Those Spokes Candies, that was one of the dumbest things that happened this year, and it was this year.
First they forced the green M&M to stop being a filthy little slut. And this.
Yep.
What is the Mars Corporation doing?
I mean, I don't even know. Now there's a purple M&M, which is its own thing, I guess. I don't know. I'm very behind on M&M's lore. It used to be that you would see an M&M and go, she's got glasses, which means she's supposed to be the bookish one. You know, like it was very clear to you, but now it's like, there's a purple M&M. What does that mean?
I always got more of a dominatrix vibe from the brown M&M.
See, this is the beauty of the M&M's Spokes Candies, is you can see whatever you want in them. You know, they're like emojis. You can project your own wants and beliefs onto them.
I don't know, just like a sexy librarian thing going on with her. I don't know.
That's what I think. Bookish is kind of in that zone.
We're digging into Diggins' mind, and I don't like it. It's dirty Eminem's mind.
Listen, when I was young, I saw the commercial about the parents finding out that the teenage boy jacks it to the green M&M, and ever since then, the M&Ms have been sexual beings to me.
Remember when the red M&M was having sex with a woman, and it seemed like she was going to eat him, and that was part of it?
Yeah,
and then he got scared because it was actually going to be eaten. Remember when it turned out that the M&Ms outsides are their clothes, because one of the M&Ms took off his clothes and was like whipping him around, and it's like
the candy coating,
yeah. But then there's that one that has pretzels in it. I don't know.
This is organs.
Yeah, we got to do a whole episode mostly nitpicking on just like the Spokes Candies one of these days. But barring that, Diggins, what do you got for this one?
You guys remember when New York City turned yellow for a while?
It's the worst.
Remember when it was yellow outside and I wasn't allowed to leave my apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Canada.
The memes were so good. That was when Diablo came out. There was the ad in New York with Diablo, and it looked like Diablo everywhere.
Yeah, Blade Runner, all that stuff. We were all talking about that. Yeah, I remember the night before it all really went down. I went out and bought an air purifier, like a humidifier, not a humidifier, one of the fancy ones, at Target, and it was like, man, that was such an awful week. It wasn't like the worst thing that's ever happened to New York for sure. But like it was so not fun.
Well, have you considered asking Mayor Eric Adams?
He would tell me. Yeah, he's got some ideas. I think the problem with the orange sky is that we all saw it in California and went, oh, those hubris of science, like they with their West Coast ways have brought this upon themselves. Much like I don't know, like Godzilla attacks or something. But with us, it was like we won't have that. Well, I don't know about earthquakes. Although Godzilla, I feel like Godzilla, that's probably part. I stopped watching that Godzilla Monsterverse show, but it's like kind of both of those things. The show's not very good. Where was I going with this? Oh, the problem with the fire is it seems like that's going to be a thing a lot of the time now. That's what's scariest about it.
Sometimes New York's just going to be yellow.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I don't like it because I live here.
Yeah, it's not good. It's going to be everywhere. So, yeah, that sucks. DJ, do you have a funny one?
I don't know. So I was looking at like all the stuff that went down this year, and just the kind of head scratch, like, oh my god, that happened this year, guys. Remember when the Velma show happened?
Oh my god, really?
Wasn't the Velma show last year?
No.
I mean, okay,
no.
It may have started at the end of last year and continued into this year. I thought it was last year.
I'm looking it up.
I could be wrong about this.
No, I'm right. First episode was January 12th, 2023.
Okay.
That's
fair.
Came in under the wire.
Really close, but I'll take it.
Vindicated. Anyway, yeah, remember that show?
Yeah.
That awful show about like, oh my god, Scooby and the gang and all this cool stuff, and it was cynical, and we all hated it because it was like sad and it's just not fun.
It was everything was wrong with it. It hated Scooby-Doo. Yeah. There was no Scooby-Doo in it, and it didn't want to. It was no fun. But it was also like way too sexual. I don't know if anybody watched it, but like,
I mean, it starred Velma, so I mean,
yeah, the brown M&M of the of the
Scooby-Doo gang, yeah.
And not because the main character was played by Mindy Kaling in the show, because she wears glasses, as we all know. But also, it like there were like, I don't know, like naked high schoolers on that show. It was a very strange bunch of choices. It's getting a second season too, I think, right?
It is
incredible.
Yeah, it didn't get
That's
canceled.
Incredible.
Which, like, say what you will, sometimes they get it right. You know, like that Gotham Knights show you were talking about before, DJ, canceled immediately. The first character opened their mouths, and then
they're like,
nope, canceled.
The game was bad. The TV show's bad. Nothing will be ever named Gotham Knights ever again.
Yeah.
I don't even think the comics they're just going to take that away.
Nope.
Just no more Gotham Knights.
And you know what? Scooby-Doo is Batman's friend. So, you know, not good Scooby-Doo this year, not good Batman. Roger, do you have anything for this one? Do you have anything for 2023 that you can remember? Because there are a couple of other things that are pretty weird.
Yeah, I remember when at the beginning of the year we didn't have a Speaker of the House, and for 4 days and 15 rounds. And honestly,
so fun.
He might be the biggest loser. Jonathan Major is not great, but he started off the year going through 15 rounds of voting, his own party, 4 days. Then, terrible time, October gets voted out, and then he was so ashamed, he retired at the end of the year.
That's like, true. He's like
beginning
gone.
of the year, Speaker of the House, end of the year, done with politics entirely. The rise and fall, hilarious.
Honestly, being entrusted with responsibility and then completely fumbling the bag due to your own incompetence so badly that you not only lose your position but completely retire from public life is the most relatable he's ever been.
Yeah, it's fair.
I mean, the only thing with him why I wouldn't say it's quite the same as Jonathan Majors is because the second all that stuff started, we were all like, he's fucked. This is not going to work out for him. Like, I'm honestly surprised he lasted a year. And by lasted a year, I mean, hasn't retired for a year.
Lasted 10 months.
Because he lasted 10 months. Yeah.
Old Kevin McCarthy lasted 10 months.
I was going to say, one of my other backups was, you guys remember when Anthony DeValder happened in January of 2023? Because, like, man, the George Santos train just never stopped rolling.
Oh, yeah, gift that keeps on giving. We should get a cameo from him. We should all go in, get a cameo from George Santos.
Anthony DeValder was one of George Santos's alter egos for, I guess, credit card fraud or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that was because during the McCarthy trial, or not trial, well, it became a trial.
Eventually, yeah.
During his hearings at one point, they called his name twice and he didn't answer, even though he could hear it. And we kind of theorized it's because that's not his real name. And they were like, George Santos. And he had to be reminded, oh, right. That's who they think I am.
I look forward to when DJ has to watch his new reality TV show at the end of 2024.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like Santos in the City or whatever.
No, it's got to be.
Let's go.
It's got to be the Ravashler. Right, because he was his drag queen name in Brazil was Ravache or something like that. Yeah. Kitara Ravache. Yeah. The only other two things I had here for this Renner snowplow incident, that was beginning of last year, which was wild. Yep.
Damn.
And he's better now, kind of. Like he had a post on social the other day that was like, I'm getting back out there. It's like,
my legs work.
Did he put a post on the Renner app?
He is not. And that's why I would think it could fully be his year because there's no Renner app. Although, this could be like the Renner Renaissance. He's just asking to have an Renaissance because his name has Renaissance in it. The other one was the Harry Potter.
I was going to say, I think we just call it the Renaissance. At that point.
The Jeremy Sans, maybe. But I was going to say the Harry Potter game was also this year. Remember that? Came and went.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of grand opening, grand closing. Yeah.
Is it not being supported anymore?
I don't know if it's not being supported, but I remember a week later it was like, 90% of the Steam concurrent players or whatever had dipped. So it didn't really work. I mean, I haven't heard anything from it for a while.
I have another one from. Remember when Elon erected a gigantic X on his building and then had to take it down a couple days because he wasn't allowed to put it up?
So good.
I feel like we can just put a general, just hang a general, all the shit that happened with Elon and Twitter. Just put that right here or we'll be here all night.
Yeah. Neuralink with the monkeys, autopilot hitting people, recalls galore. I mean, Elon could fill up a whole pod.
Remember when he fired that guy? And then that guy on Twitter, and then that guy turned out to be like a hero of Iceland or something, and then he had to walk it back immediately. That was great. He's had quite a year. But
I got one more. Remember that time that DJ wrecked a bread from Whole Foods on the pod?
Yes!
People love the bread.
People love the bread.
Good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Which bread is it, by the way, DJ? Because I started going to Whole Foods now, so maybe I could get it.
DJ, if you don't even remember the bread that you wrecked,
I guarantee he has no idea. The bread.
Wait.
Hold on. Yeah. Are you sure it's
said
Whole
this
Foods?
bread was life-changing.
Also, I thought it was Costco, not Whole Foods.
Oh, okay. If it's Costco, then I don't go to that, so it doesn't matter. But
I don't remember. God damn it.
It's all right. It's all right. We gotta keep something for next year.
I guess that bread isn't so good, is it, DJ?
Yeah.
I think it's the religious sounding one, whatever that is.
Look,
right?
There was a time where I wasn't doing shit because of shit with being a dad or whatever, and I just had nothing. I'm like, well, I can't do Marvel Snap again. I can't do Baldur's Gate 3 for the 8th time, so I just got nothing. So it happens.
I'm still not shaking my damned head.
Oh,
still not the craziest wreck. You did wreck a zoo that was nearby one time, and that was absolutely hilarious.
Matt Damon made that movie about it, right? We wrecked the zoo.
Yeah,
that was him.
That was good.
That should be a thing. But speaking of things, the last thing, the year of this is where we finally decide what 2023 was the year of. So this is like we said, or maybe I said this before. While the winner of 2023 traditionally is a person or a movie or something, the year of 2023 can be that, but it can also be more of an idea or a theme or something like that. Who wants to go first with this one? Anybody have a good one?
I'll go first.
All right, DJ. What do you got for 2023?
This might be the weakest, but I still feel strong about it and have a good case. I think that 2023 was the year of Dungeons and Dragons.
I like it. No, that was one of the ones that I had on the list. I'll take it. Explain yourself, good sir.
Yeah, of course. So we early in the year, we had the movie Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, movie I think broadly liked by multiple audiences, even the non-D&D crowd people. Then over the summer, we have Baldur's Gate 3, a game that seemed like it was everywhere. It was all over my social media feeds and a ton of friends playing it. Again, even people who don't traditionally play D&D were kind of seeing how it plays and really into the story, and the characters are everywhere. We had a Gale reference earlier on the pod.
That's true.
So it was everywhere. And this
Roger
might not be
really
widely
setting
known.
himself up for failure, pairing himself up with the worst character in Baldur's Gate.
Facts. And we had the open game license controversy over the summer where like Hasbro was gonna
Was that the
like
I thought
take...
that was more the start of the year. Like I think it was this year, but I think it was more at the start.
Okay, well, either way, right? There was that controversy that lasted what felt like months where, you know, was Wizards going to rip out the open game license, but the power to the people, we won. And we're just going to ignore that Hasbro fired like a quarter of the staff at the end of December and just kind of leave that on the side. And there's some good modules that came out, you know, if you play D&D. So I just think like it was a huge year for D&D, especially breaking into the mainstream. So yeah, I got D&D was the year 2023. 2023 was the year of D&D.
No, I think that's fair.
D&D 1 rules kind of got solidified, and they released some of the new stuff coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still in playtest, but yeah, they're firming up.
And I think the movie was good. It didn't make like a ton of money, but it was a very like it's a lot of people I feel like are talking about it now as like one of their favorite movies of the year because it was just fun and good.
It was a really good movie.
Yeah. I liked it. I don't remember, but I bet the little Ninja Turtles children talked about how much they love D&D in that movie because it is like a thing that is normal now for kids, you know?
Yeah,
to do it.
Totally. Yeah.
So
it's not just for the friggin' turbo nerds anymore.
Yeah,
exactly.
Pay your dues, get beat up and thrown in a locker like I did.
Yeah.
That never happened to me once in my life. I don't know if about you guys.
Well, famously, Andrew Bynum not threw me into a locker, but threw me against a locker. So, you know, very, very famously.
Diggins, do you have a thing that 2023 was the year of?
I do, Nando, which is that I think 2023, for the most part, was the year of box office justice.
Okay. I kind of assumed one of these would be this, but I wasn't sure how it would be phrased. Explain yourself, sir.
So, this is a thing I've kind of articulated a few times on this podcast with regards to this year, but I want to more formally put forth my case here, which is that there's a lot of franchises and types of movies that traditionally make lots of money and do well at the box office, kind of regardless of quality. You know, your Fasts and Furiouses, your Marvel movies, etc. And it really felt like this year was kind of a paradigm shift where it stopped being about like huge opening weekends and became more about word of mouth and like long tails. And so like when the movies came out and, you know, weren't very well regarded, they ended up not doing very well for the most part. You know, Ant-Man didn't do amazing. Marvel's did really bad. All the DCU movies bombed. Fast X, even like the Fast and Furious has been like a money-making juggernaut like up until this one, and I think even me, noted Fast and Furious hater, said this was easily the worst one. And that actually was reflected in the money. Like it didn't do that well, at least compared to the rest of the franchise.
Now, you want to take a guess in domestic box office releases what number Fast X comes in this year? In the top, like, you know, 30 or whatever.
18.
Yeah, it's 18. That's
really?
so low. Yeah. Just under Elemental and just over Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh my God.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, all those kids saw that movie.
The Puss in Boots movie that came out last year was knocking at the door at 21. Like it was, man, that Fast X did not work.
But meanwhile, movies that, you know, were may have been generally positioned for success, but not more than movies like that, did do really well. And those are the ones that were generally well regarded by critics and audiences. Your Barbies, your Oppenheimers, Guardians 3 was one of the biggest successes for Disney this year, and that was the one that most people agreed was actually really good. I think this has come up before. Mario is the one kind of wrinkle where that movie's not super interesting. I will say this is an argument I've seen and I think is interesting, is Mario, however, is successful at being the thing it wants to be. which is to be this big kind of colorful cameo fest for children to like look at and be like, I know The Thing, and like be fun and be the theme park ride. Like, as far as the theme park ride movies go, it probably is the best at being that. And that is partially the reason for its success. But yeah, no, it really felt like this year was one where if you did a bad one, then you don't get to make money for it.
Yeah.
I like that.
What a shame.
Yeah, if only we could be rewarded for our mistakes forever.
Yeah.
Am I right, fellow white men?
That's right. Speaking of that, number 10 highest grossing movie of this year, Sound of Freedom. Remember that? That was this year.
Oh,
Isn't that wild? That was a weird one.
Poison, I say.
Yeah.
Oh man, all those empty movie theaters playing it to nobody.
They all loved it.
What's this in the Discord chat? Somebody just said that that's the movie that's going to be for the winner of the Eliminator pool. He just came forth. It's alive, and he said Sound of Freedom. Yeah.
No, he didn't.
No, I'm joking.
That would be amazing.
I mean, like,
if after months of silence.
Yeah. It's probably pretty nitpickable, to be fair. But my God, yeah, that's not a good one. Yeah, so I'm not sure what to do with this one, because I have two that I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say the first one real quick and then just get it out of my system. 2023 was the year of the Vatican. Multiple movies drove cars down the steps of the Vatican for some reason. Also, the Pope's exorcist was this year. But also, if you read the news coming out of the Vatican, all the Pope's enemies either died or went to jail, and the Pope is cool with gay people now, so that's nice. And he continued to live through many health scares. But yeah, just the fact that we had both of those movies where cars drove down those steps. I was like, that's interesting. But I'm ready to give that one up for the real one. I think 2023 was the year of nobody getting left behind. And I mean, specifically, there were a lot of movies this year where it became kind of a theme of this year, where a character was told they couldn't save two people or something, and they had to pick one, and they made a choice or they didn't. And all the ones where they didn't make the choice and they saved both we liked, and all the ones where they made the choice we didn't like. What I mean is, Across the Spider-Verse, that was kind of the theme of that movie. And it was the whole movie was like, they were like, you can't save everybody. And he was like, I want to. Guardians was kind of that, although I wouldn't even say that was what that was, because it was more of a traditional, like, save all the friends kind of movie. Loki ends being this, where everybody's like, Loki, you can't be, the guy. And he's like, no, I will. And then he does. Without kind of fully spoiling it, this is also what If ends up being about, which I think is very interesting. But then the big one that wasn't this was The Flash, which specifically feels like a movie from 10 years ago, because the hero was told, you have to let these people die to make the universe go. And he just went, okay. And then continued. And that feels like such a relic of the days when we would just let things like that go. And now in the future, we don't do that. And I specifically said nobody getting left behind. And I don't think this is, the perfect end to this year, but I do think the strikes were kind of the biggest entertainment story of the year. And I think they more or less worked. I think when you look at the actor stuff more, it gets a little murkier. Some of the AI provisions I don't love. And I understand why people weren't 100% on them. I think for the writers, it went great. The directors folded immediately because they stink. But the actors and the writers did pretty well at collectively getting together and, getting what they needed. Even our favorite movie of the year, Oppenheimer, had to be about unions for a little bit for some reason. It just became what movies were about. And I think there's something there. That or the Vatican, one of those two. But yeah, so that's our 2023, you guys.
We did it.
It's over. No more 2023.
Goodbye.
Everybody forget about all those things, because now there's new things. I mean, don't forget about Craven, because it's a 2024 thing now. But all the rest of them, forget about them. So we're going to do our predictions for 2024. Very exciting. But you guys, 2024, that's the year that it is now. And that's going to be the big year. That's what they say. Besides all the dumb election stuff, there's other things that will be cool. And
yes,
well, maybe
Let me tell you right now, it's not going to be our year.
No, it's going to be a weird one. But you guys, we're going to make some predictions about it. Not election-related ones. Ones that are... Sure? I mean, they might come up. I don't know. I hope positive. Not. But you guys, it's the usual ones. The ones we just did. And Roger's here. He will be taking these down in the mostly nitpicking, stone tablets or whatever. Yeah, so that these could be recorded and brought back to us in a year to prove who was the most right. Them. Yeah, exactly. So what we do, there's 5 of them. It's the same ones that we have already reviewed. So you're probably pretty familiar with them. So you just jump right into it. The first one is the finally dies. What will 2024 be the year that this thing finally dies? Diggins, you want to start with this one?
I would love to. I'm not going to go third year in a row on crypto. Because I understand that the judging mechanism is rigged against me on that one. So instead, I'm going to say that 2024 will be the year that the AAA video game industry finally dies.
Oh, whoa. That'd be fun.
Wow.
Now, the warning signs have been out there for a while. For example, at the level of budget that like AAA video games for the PS5 needed to be made to start turning a profit, they had to sell some amount of copies, like 1 million copies or something crazy. And 3 PS5 games ever have sold that much. Like, it has reached a level of like unsustainability that even movies are not at yet. So it just seems, and like, we've had lots of stories with like crunch being like inhumane at a bunch of video game studios. A bunch of them, even after having like successes, are like cutting staff, firing people, studios closing down. Like there really already is this sort of like kind of consolidation going on that is not a healthy sign. And it feels like we're coming to a point where either they have to change how they make games, or that whole studio system is going to collapse. And so I'm saying 2024 is the year that's going to come to a head.
Wow. Yeah, I can't believe you're making that prediction the same year that Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League comes out. That's going to be the right. Barbenheimer in one.
That's going to save it.
Yeah,
right.
It's going to change everything. It's an interesting prediction. Are there any besides Suicide Squad games that are coming out next year that are like big ones that people are looking forward to? Because I'm not super keen on that. I know that there's a Grand Theft Auto game, but that's not till next year or whatever.
New Final Fantasy VII game that will ruin my life by having it be the only thing I do.
Yes, the game that I need to get a PS5 for.
Is there anything else? Is that it?
Let's see. Polygon has a whole ass article.
I'm also looking at that Polygon article right now.
I guess the fact that we can't name it off the top of our head isn't an amazing sign.
I named one.
You did name one.
Not necessarily huge video game people. Dragon's Dogma 2?
Yeah. I feel like, well, here's what I'll say. If we were asked this question last year, we could all name a couple. Spider-Man would have been on that list of like big games. Zelda, big game, right? Like, I don't know if there was one for like Xbox, whatever their equivalent to this is.
New Hades? ? Is that next year?
Yeah, that'll be something.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's confirmed, but that was the plan.
That's not like a AAA big game, though. I mean, like,
that's true.
It's a decently high budget game, but it's still like, it's a reasonably budgeted game instead of hundreds of millions of dollars.
I do think that like some of the studios, like Bethesda, are really in trouble in a management sense and in just a like, what are you guys doing sense. And there's also all those stories like Naughty Dog, like dropping their, Last of Us MMO, just because it seems like a lot of these companies don't really know what the direction to go in with projects like this is.
No, guys, sorry, I'm wrong. The Funko Pop video game's coming out in 2024.
Oh.
So that's going to change everything.
Boom.
Can you play with the Funko Pops, like in like those amiibos? Or is it, do you just have to let them watch you play?
You just have to let them watch you, yeah.
Do you shake your controller like a Funko Pop bobblehead should shake? Or is it one of the games where the controller doesn't shake, like most of the Funko Pop bobbleheads today?
I was going to say, you can shake the controller, and much like a Funko Pop, it will not shake.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. I think there's something to it. Do you want to pick one specific studio that you think will fold or something?
Ooh,
Give me some metrics for the court to look at later.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. What constitutes dying?
Or a video game that should be a big hit that will bomb, that will be like, see, this is the, things to come.
God, what are some of this? I'm trying to think. What are some of the studios that had big layoffs? You want me to go nuts? You want to get nuts?
Yeah, let's get nuts.
Naughty Dog.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's a good one. It's an interesting one. And they're a big one. I don't know what they've got coming out, but they seem like they could be in trouble. Interesting. DJ, what about you? What do you think 2023 will be the year, or 2024 will be the year blank finally dies in?
Once again, Diggins setting me up nicely, and I very much appreciate it. I think 2023 is the year that the Sony Spider-Verse finally dies.
Ooh, and by that you mean 2024, correct? I just want to say this off the...
Wait, what did I say?
Get it on the record. You said 2023. I blame myself because I said 2023 before you said.
Yeah, 2024 is the year that the Sony Spider-Verse finally dies. I think that, so they got 3 movies slated to come out this year. They got Madam Web, which somehow comes out in a month, Kraven, and Venom 3, allegedly. I'm sure that'll get pushed. But I know Sony's got their thing. They got to make a movie every, 5 years to keep the rights or whatever. And they think they could just turn that movie. But to Diggins' earlier point, the box office does not lie. I wonder if Sony's going to look at this and be like, oh my God, we are just dumping money into these and we are not getting the return on investment we need. Marvel's going to come, or Disney's going to come by and say, hey, let us just buy this off you. Let's just get it done with. You don't enjoy making these movies. It's too much work. Your video game division's dying. As Diggins pointed out earlier, just sell it to us. And Sony's finally going to fold. I think this is the year.
But DJ, they've announced projects for the future. A thing can't fold if they have projects coming out in the future.
Especially Sony.
Yeah.
Specifically Sony Spider-Verse Productions.
There are rumors that they're going to make a Dr. Octopus solo movie, and a Mysterio solo movie. These rumors came out yesterday. So
I hear they're even going to make a Sinister Six movie, and they've never been wrong about that.
Yep. They have been talking about that a lot recently. So yeah, I think there's a chance that movie doesn't get made. That'd be pretty cool. Because it probably wouldn't be good. But yeah, I agree. This was one of my backups, so I'm glad I went last. I think their live action universe will be a disaster next year, potentially.
Yeah.
And that could sink them.
And maybe I don't get it wrong where it's it's died, they still have it, but if it doesn't die, it'll be limping into 2025 just with, on life support. So
listen, when we come into that pod and all sit here staring and have to all say Kraven's one of the best movies of the year, I'll be the one laughing.
Fine. Defenestrate me, fire me into the sun. That's if it turns out that Kraven and Madam Web are good and it's soaring to the moon, fine. Just I will take my flogging because I just don't know anything anymore.
No, I mean, to be serious for a moment, those movies are definitely going to be bad, but I don't think Sony will ever want to give up the profit splitting on the MCU Spider-Man movies, so they'll just keep pumping out these fucking disasters.
See, but that's the thing. I don't think they need to do these. I think they will go Madam Web is not making us money. We don't need to make these villain or one-off Spider-Man character solos anymore. We'll make a Spider-Man movie every 5 years, or we'll make Into the Spider-Verse to keep making those, but not the rest of these. And to be fair, one of the threats for Spider-Man 4 that it doesn't seem like they're going to deliver on is that they're going to bring all the Morbius and all those guys into the Marvel universe and then have him fight them. Yeah, they're going to do No Way Home, but with the bad guys everyone hates. Morbius? That's right. And New Year's Eve Zone, Jared Leto is going to be in those. I don't think this is going to happen, but something like that could happen, and that would suck. So yeah, I could see it dying. All right. Well, that was one of mine. I'll do my backup, which I don't love, but I think could happen. I'm going to say 2024 will be the year that Overwatch finally dies, only because it's bad now. And I stopped playing it, but I keep up on that every so often. I looked up its numbers. It's currently doing about as well as it was last year, which is probably good. I don't know if that's great. Video games, I assume, are expected to be a growth industry. I do think that Blizzard generally is kind of a mess, to the point where I don't have confidence that the game like will still be I imagine it'll still be supported, but I do think that long-term gamers aren't like, oh man, can't wait for more Overwatch. But also just the way that game has been produced and stuff, it's not very good. So I think as a video game, there's a lot of these like live service games, like, or that's not exactly what this is, but like games like that, like Fortnite, that are never going to go away, it seems like. But I do think there is space for an Overwatch to fail. I think the other one that could fail is Destiny, I guess, right? Like that could die next year.
Hell yeah. And
but I think
honestly, it's such a low stakes prediction, but I think it's a great one. I think it's a fucking great one. But
yeah, I think Destiny is so much dead that it's not even fun. So I'm going to say Overwatch for mine. And I guess finally dies for me is like the player count is at least half what it was now. And that is like this thing is done. Because that's the problem with these games. If you lose some of the players, the wait times get higher, and then you lose more of the players. It really is like a slippery slope. So I think we'll be on the slope somewhere. I don't know if we'll be fully done, but we'll be close. I also looked it up. 2024, we're supposed to get an Elden Ring expansion. So that's an interesting
but
game
DLC
thing.
is supposed to come out.
Yeah.
But expansions, is that really what we're going to be?
I mean, listen, the fact that that's making this list of best games of 2024 is not a good sign.
That's true.
Like,
I mean, I will say the Dark Souls DLCs do tend to be, like some of the best parts of those games.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
And pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got that
Nando,
one.
Sorry,
yeah?
I think there's one huge flaw in your prediction there, which is that no matter how bad the game gets, that it will be propped up single-handedly by the porn industry.
Yeah, I think that's fair. What I would imagine will happen eventually is some other version.
It's probably not a hand that'll be propping it up.
That's fair. I was gonna say maybe like Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League will take its place, because they have big sexy characters like Superman and Wonder Woman and Bizarro or whatever. So that's going to be a really hot game we'll all love. I don't know what, like, this is the other thing too. There's a lot of games that are like this that keep trying to happen that never work. Right, the finals just started as and it's not the exact same thing because the finals is closer to what what's the one that we all already Valorant, right? It's like kind of something like that. Yeah. There's Apex, which is also kind of this. And I do think for most people, there's just not room for all of them. And some of them will start falling by the wayside. I think Overwatch, while they are innovating and like they're still making new characters and their cinematics are still good. I think the battle pass, all that stuff really turns people off it. And there's going to be a point where it just falls off.
It's a better prediction than when DJ predicted Fortnite would die in 2021. That was this I feel more confident on than
such a bad one.
He didn't know that Black Adam was going to be in it. Like,
that would have totally changed my thoughts.
Yeah. Speaking of Black Adam, that Multiverses game is apparently one of the games we're looking forward to in 2024. So again, this might be
come out.
So it came out, they took it back, and then they're going to bring it out again. This might be one of the worst years for video games in quite some time. Looking at this list, like. I don't know.
Perhaps a good sign for somebody's prediction.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay,
to be fair, Baldur's Gate wasn't on anybody's list.
Yeah, like there'll be a surprise game for sure.
But yeah, it's not looking great.
You had games though. Yeah, you did have big games like Baldur's Gate that did come out of nowhere. And even like a couple of years ago, Hades wasn't on anybody's list. But yeah, I think this looks extra sparse.
If you were in the know, then you knew that.
That's true.
Supermassive.
Supergiant, I think. Yeah.
Supergiant. That they've made some pretty stellar games before that.
Yeah, and maybe Hades 2 will prop up the entire video games industry, but I'm just not sure. I mean,
it will certainly prop up something the same way that
true.
Overwatch.
Maybe Hades 2 will take Overwatch's like market share.
No,
and then
there's one important difference there, which is there won't be easy 3D models for the porn makers to rip from the game.
That's a great point. They'll figure it out. Let's talk about big hits of 2024. Speaking of things that everybody's gonna love, we gotta make some predictions. These are things that we think will be within their respective zones. Some of the biggest things, top 5, top 10 grossing, talked about, however those things are measured. I'll start with DJ this time. DJ, what's going to be the big hit of 2024?
All right. So when looking at, I really wanted to focus on movies, as what's going to come out and be big. And I'm like, what is something where it just can't miss? Everyone will be on my side and agree with me. Just something that feels good to say will be the big hit of 2024. So I'm going with something that I think Diggins will just get behind me on and announce me the winner when this becomes true. I'm going to say that Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, is going to be the big hit of 2024.
DJ, you've gravely miscalculated because now I don't have anything to say.
No!
Well, what's your case for it, DJ?
You already said it out loud.
I think it's a George Miller doesn't miss, similar to your Wonka, the Paddington guy doesn't miss. I think it's been has it been almost 10 years since we had Mad Max Fury Road? Like
2015, right?
Yeah.
I think.
And it was loved so much, got some Oscar noms, and I just think that you take time to make a movie, really good cast. I'm really excited to see Chris Hemsworth in this. Anya Taylor-Joy, obviously, she's a star. But I think this just is a can't miss. And looking at the slate, I think this will be one that captures everybody. I was looking for things that came out in July to try to look at it like an op-ed or like a Barbenheimer thing. Not a lot there. So this comes out in May, so you're getting on that kind of like Memorial Day weekend, like into the summer. And I think this will be big. I think a lot of people go to see it to the movies. I think it's going to do a huge box office, and it's going to be beloved and might get some Oscar buzz too. So I just think this is a can't miss. This is going to be a huge hit for 2024.
Well, now I'm wondering what else comes out in May that they could try to pair it with cleverly. Garfield. Garfuriosa or something.
Furiosa Fields.
Yeah. Furioti.
Furiosa. There it is.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of that's John, played by the guy from Mad Max before, Lex Luthor, whatever his name is. So there's that. My only thing with Furiosa, because I thought about this, is it's on the heels of Deadpool and If, that dumb movie with I don't know, it's the Foster's Imaginary Friends movie, basically.
Yeah.
But I could see that kind of hurting that and Planet of the Apes hurting its numbers.
Well, might be looking at some future things, Nando. Might be looking at some future prediction thingies. Make me feel pretty good about this. So, I'm gonna take this and ride. And I stole Diggins', so I guess I'm a bad person.
Yeah,
Diggins, you need a second to come up with a new one?
I got one.
Okay, what do you got?
I think that another May movie, actually. I think the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is going to be big hit of 2024. I don't know if you guys watched those other reboot Planet of the Apes movies. They were all pretty good. And I feel like this one is a sequel, but it's that kind of sequel where you don't really need to know everything else. It's just hey, there's a planet with apes on it, and they're smart and they talk, and the humans are not. Boom.
Yeah.
So I just think if they keep up the level of quality from before, I think it has a strong chance of having that kind of long tail word of mouth, especially if it does seem like first of all, some of these movies are going to move. There's no way that May 24th has Furiosa, Garfield, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. What else is saying it's May 24th here? That was it. Well, actually, that might happen. You know what? Furiosa and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes might be the Barbenheimer. Might be the Kingdom of the Planet of the Furiosas. They're probably too similar for that to really happen, but
that's me and Tickets going head to head too. So that's
wow.
Huge.
Yeah,
I'll spoil it. I'm not going to say it's Garfield. So it's you two are on your island there.
I thought about saying it just to be a complete maverick, but I couldn't believe it.
It could be your nuclear take.
I couldn't make myself believe it.
Have it be your nuclear take. Do we do nuclears for this one or only?
We
the
don't
bombs?
usually.
Only bombs.
Only bombs. Okay.
But yeah, no, I just think it's going to be a really solid movie that ends up taking out a lot of brisk business over the course of its time in theaters, and ends up being a really big hit.
I mean, it's possible.
I like it.
What do you think? What is big hit? Where do you think it'll show up in the year domestic gross and stuff?
like position, like
Yeah.
1 through.
I'm gonna lower my standards a little this time, since apparently this bites me so hard. I'm gonna say top 5.
Top 5.
Okay. That's still very high for
Yeah,
a movie
and
like this,
reasonable.
where I don't think
Would you
any of the older
accept
ones.
top 10?
I would accept top 10 just because I don't think any of the other ones have ever cracked the top 10
Yeah.
of their year.
Normally, you guys are getting on my case when I try to set more reasonable standards. But yeah, if you'll accept top 10, I'll say top 10.
I'll accept top 20. How's that?
All right, calm down, DJ. Jeez Louise, I have to jump in on this one. You're going crazy. Going crazy.
Man, it's fucking crazy.
All right. So I'll do mine very quickly before my cat bites everything. I was thinking about this because I had two that I was kind of between. There was one that I think is a movie that could be very successful, one that's a television show that I think could be very successful. I don't think the movie will crack the top 10, but I like its chances of being interesting. The same way that, like, I don't think Spider-Verse, the year that it came out, cracked the top 10. Or the same way that I don't think Ninja Turtles this year cracked the top 10, even though I think it was very good. So I'm going to go with the television show. I'm going to say Fallout will be the big show of one of the big shows of 2024.
Wow.
I think that show just looks too interesting. The cast is very strong. Jonathan Nolan, he loves TV. Everybody loves him. That game, I don't know very much about that game, but it has an interesting enough, like, spirit and aesthetic and stuff. And on top of it, it's Amazon. They put a lot of money behind this thing. Amazon has had a lot of successes, but they've all been what if superheroes were bad, or what if your dad's favorite guy had a gun. So, like, I think they need something like this that's not those two things. And I think this is a good, like, kind of spin on that apocalypse story that we're all kind of tired of, because it has way more to say and more style than a lot of these, which not that they don't have, like, Last of Us doesn't have things to say, but it's a lot visually of what we've seen before, whereas this is something that does seem kind of new. My backup, which I'll say now just so you can all make fun of me for it when it is the big hit, was the animated Transformers movie that's coming out next year. Transformers 1 I think could be great. Based on everything I've heard about this, it's got a similar animation style to the Millers vs. the Machines movie. You got John Hamm, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, like Lawrence Fishburne. It's got a huge cast. And I don't know. I just think, like, the director is the one who directed Toy Story 4. I think that this movie has a lot more heat behind it than people are expecting. But I also think there's a ceiling for how well a movie like that can do in a year. I think maybe its second one, if it makes Transformers 2, then that will be like that could be a big hit that hits the, top 10 of that year. But I don't know. I think there's like a ceiling. So I'm not going to say that. But, speaking of that, let's talk about bombs. You guys, 2024 will be the year Craven finally bombs, I think. Maybe it's going to come out. Nobody's going to watch it.
It's going to be so funny if it gets delayed to 2025.
Oh, man. That's so great.
I hope it doesn't. I mean, listen, I can't wait to see this movie. I can't wait to see Madam Web. My only thing with Madam Web is it doesn't seem fair, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like, it's too much of a bomb already, and we're too close to it. Where with this, it's like, this will probably be a bomb, but it's just, I don't know. It's just so boring as an idea. And the thing with this one, that there's blood now, is just not interesting enough to keep me going. So, I mean, I don't need to make the case. I don't need to explain to you guys why I think that's the biggest bomb of the year. I will say, for my nuclear take, because I do want to put a nuclear take, but I had a really hard time with this because there's so many movies that are come out next year that I'm like, that'll probably be good. So it's a real question of, like, what are people tired of? What will be a big bomb? And besides, like, Craven and these things, I'm really worried about the Beetlejuice sequel. I don't think it could bomb because I think it has to kind of make money. Kids love Jenna Ortega, Tim Burton, very popular, Michael Keaton, like the cast is very like, there's just it can't fully fail. But I could see it doing very badly as they couldn't recapture the magic kind of thing. So I'm going to say that's my, like, nuclear take. I'm well aware that this will probably make money, but I think the Beetlejuice sequel could be trouble. Diggins, what about you? What's your biggest bomb of 2024?
All right, so my regular biggest bomb of 2024 going off of again what I said before about box office justice having reasserted itself. I think there's a big movie coming out that's a sequel to a movie that did pretty decently, not like amazingly, but given its level of quality, assuming that carries over to this movie, if it is rewarded according to its level of quality, will be a huge bomb. That's right. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Hell yeah.
There it is.
Will be a
Yeah.
bomb.
That's a lock. That's
Will be
a
the
lock.
biggest bomb of 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. When
Too
does it
easy.
come out?
It's too easy.
It's pretty soon, right?
No, I think it is in like the summer.
Yeah. I think
Oh, I
it's
thought it was like March or something. I don't know why I thought that. It's whatever it is, it's too soon.
How dare they?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it now.
I mean, we saw a trailer for it.
It
I
is
feel like-
March. You're right. March 29th.
yeah, it's coming closer than you'd expect. But Diggins, it's got everybody's favorite guy podcast is back. Don't you
Is
think the
he?
people are going to come out for? That's what I've been told. I didn't see him in the trailer, but I was
gonna
told he was
say,
there.
he's not in the trailer.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, that's the kind of thing, much like the Harold Ramis cameo from Beyond the Grave.
Ugh.
You don't want to spoil the podcast cameo in your first trailer.
That's
you know?
true. Everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
There's nothing in this world that people are more tired of than podcasts, Nando.
What? All 59 million of them, or however many there were, DJ? How many podcasts are there? on
536 million.
IMDb?
Come
That's
on
right.
now.
I mean, there probably are that many podcasts. There's
Yeah,
just not that
that's
many
fair.
podcasts on IMDb. But yeah, no, I think the movie's going to be pretty bad, and I think people are going to be pretty tired of it.
I love to believe that. That's your normal take,
That's
right?
my normal take. My nuclear take. I'm going thermonuclear on this, as is my want.
Oh
Love
my
it.
God.
I think the Deadpool movie's going to bomb.
I just don't
You
see
bastard.
it. But what's your case?
I just think it really feels to me like there's a strong chance of it now being like a Disney MCU. Well, not necessarily the MCU, because it's its own universe, possibly.
I mean,
But-
he's going to be in the MCU. Like, that is,
Right,
it seems like
but
what the movie takes
If
place in.
the Marvel's post credits seems to imply that maybe he doesn't start in the MCU, but
Right.
will end up there. But it's the first Deadpool movie being made with those constraints. And it just feels to me like there's a strong chance of a huge clash between the MCU sensibility and what people like about these Deadpool movies.
Hmm.
Like, I know it is going to be R-rated, right?
Yeah,
I think so, but I could see him changing their mind.
that's fair.
Right. But I just have a hard time, because like you take a look at what James Gunn did in the MCU, which is great work. Like, I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, versus what he did in the DCEU, when he seems like he got a little more freedom to like do everything that he wanted. And I feel like Deadpool, original Deadpools are more in the vein of that second thing. And considering they didn't they wouldn't let James Gunn off the leash enough to do that, I worry that it's not going to have the freedom to be that kind of, not even just R-rated, but like kind of irreverent and like poking fun at the brand.
Hmm.
And if it is like that, then I feel like people will feel like it's off, and it won't end up doing as well. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just worried about it. I just worried about Disney's ability to capture what people like about the Deadpool movies.
I think that's fair. The reason I didn't take this, because I considered this as well for my bomb, is just because I think there's some level of built-in, like, the sequel cannot fail. And not the same way that Captain Marvel was, like, bolstered by Endgame, and, like, obviously that sequel did fail. But, like, I think people do genuinely like the Deadpool movies enough, kind of like Ant-Man, that they might, even if it's not very good, enough people might see it that will still make money. I would be shocked if at the end of the year we're looking at this and it's a humongous bomb. But you know, I wouldn't have said that about all the movies that bombed this year, like most of them. Like Fast X, for example. I would say those also print money. So who knows?
Well, it is Diggins' turn to have his biggest bomb be the top 5 movie.
That's
so
true.
I mean, I'm feeling confident
Yeah.
about that prediction I made earlier because I think Deadpool 3 is the one property that can properly make fun of Disney and potentially get away with it. I could even see lots of blood turning into confetti as part of the movie.
Just wait till Steamboat Willie comes on screen and does things you never imagined.
Oh, see, that's something Ryan Reynolds.
Or
could pull
maybe
off. I could see it.
what would be funnier? Steamboat Willie coming on and just being very nice and or being very depressed because of how horribly he's being treated by the media or something. What can they do with him?
Boy, guys, I'm in trouble.
So
Mickey
people are
Mouse,
saying some
when
weird
did you
things
get
about
here?
me. You mean Steamboat Willie specifically?
Yes, Steamboat Willie specifically. When did you get here?
Yeah. Well, those are all good. Well and good. Wait, DJ, did you go yet?
No, I didn't.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. What are your ones for this?
Well, so I'd like to start off by Diggins stole my thermonuclear take because I was also going to say Deadpool 3 for a lot of the reasons that Diggins said.
Wow.
Originally that, but also I was going to put my blank will surprise everyone by being blank, like Deadpool 3 would surprise everyone by being bad. Not saying that it would bomb, but no one would like it. So many people saw it and then were down on it, but I'll take that off. Diggins gets all the Deadpool 3 territory, I took all the Furious territory. So my bomb for the 2024, and I feel so good about it again. Just put it in Sharpie. Feel amazing about this.
I mean, Sharpie? There's far more permanent things than that.
Sharpie's pretty permanent.
Sharpie.
DJ, you say this every year. I just want to flag that this has been the intro to your bomb prediction since 2021.
I mean, the subtitle of this podcast could be confidently wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can we change the name? I love it. I'll have Michelle start working on a new logo. No, the bomb of 2024 is going to be this stupid Joker sequel.
Oh my God! How dare you?
No. Oh, we got Lady Gaga. Oh, Joaquin Phoenix is back. Everyone loved the first one. You're gonna love this one too. No,
He won an Oscar, DJ.
It's gonna be bad. Everyone's gonna realize it's bad. They're trying to it was a one-off thing, a taxi cab ripoff that totally worked.
Taxi cab. That's my favorite for the movies that. Those classic movies, Taxi Cab.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to try again?
Yeah.
Nope.
The one with Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon.
No, that other movie, Crazy Taxi. We all saw that movie.
Video
Crazy
game.
Taxi.
Yeah. Besides, obviously, it was much more of a ripoff of The King of Comedy.
That's true.
Whatever. But this sequel is just a dumb DC cash grab because DC's like, we can't have nothing come out in 2024, and I think it's going to suck, it'll be bad, and it's going to bomb. I feel very good about it.
Incredible. So is that your regular take or your thermonuclear take?
How does that? No, that's my regular. How is that thermonuclear?
I think the last one grossed $1 billion means the next one's thermonuclear if you say it bombs.
No.
But so what's your thermonuclear then?
Well, financially?
Yeah, it made a stupid amount of money.
Yeah, $1.074 billion. I also was like, no way. And
I don't think this movie. I don't think this movie cracks
well,
100 million. I don't know.
Diggins,
okay.
Diggins, you're depressed. But
yeah.
But are you? Do you think your life is a tragedy and not a comedy anymore?
Yeah.
Are you that level of depressed?
Well, Nando, just the other day, my doctor told me that to raise my spirits, I should go see the great clown Pagliacci. And I had to tell him, but doctor, I am Pagliacci.
But doctor, Pagliacci tickets are sold out.
But doctor, Pagliacci died.
Yeah.
So wait, DJ, do you want to make this your nuclear take then?
No, it's my regular.
Okay.
Guys,
Regular
guys,
take?
It's a regular take. What's your nuclear take then?
So
Yeah.
now I feel like I'm being heat checked so much. It's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?
I actually like the Joker too because I don't know, has people looked back on Joker negatively? No, I'm saying for Joker 1, I feel like people were soured on it as time went on potentially. At least some of the people.
Hey, I hated it immediately.
Yeah, I think most of us didn't like it.
So
because we're cool and we have good taste.
I think people might be wise to this time. So that's my regular. So my thermonuclear was going to be Deadpool 3. But I think I'll go thermonuclear, and it's just not as spicy. But looking through, I got to go for a Kung Fu Panda 4.
I thought about this one. Yeah. What's the
like,
case?
It's been so long since 3 is to quote my Mario prediction, is the audience there. And
I'm still here, DJ.
Does it still have enough relevance for people to see it? And again, if it's one that people catch early, like, oh, this actually isn't that good, does it bomb? Again, putting it in the thermonuclear category because I'm not totally convinced, but like Diggins said with Deadpool 3, I could see it. Kung Fu Panda 4, I could see it.
Now, DJ, I think it's obvious why you're saying this. I think there's a well-known bias in this podcast that is being made clear here, made evident, but you refuse to give it a name.
What is it?
Which is how much you and Nando hate Awkwafina.
Incredible.
That's right. I forgot she's in that.
Yeah.
I have an action figure for her on my desk right now. Here she is.
I loved Raya and the Last Dragon. I loved Shang-Chi. I loved the new Little Mermaid. I loved...
Yeah.
That joke doesn't work if you put on one good movie.
Yeah. I loved that movie where she does game shows or something that originally people were like, it's great. And then now people are like, it's not that great. You know, the one
I
I'm
love
talking
Nora
about?
from Queens.
Oh, you love Nora from Queens.
I love Nora from Queens.
I don't know what you're talking about. The game shows thing.
I think it's called Quiz Lady or something. It's new. It's one of those movies that I heard the praise for, and I was like, great. And then a bunch of people are like, it's not as good. Yeah, Awkwafina. But this one has a Hunger Games' Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes' own Viola Davis as the bad guy, I think.
Ooh.
Classic, bad guy we all love. So
That's tricky.
Won't that be good?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Yeah, I don't know. Here's the question for Kung Fu Panda. Is Jack Black just box office gold now? Like, does Super Mario Brothers, can he just get on TV and go, I'm in this movie, and the kids go, okay, and then they go see it? Because
does he have that at all?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll see. The Peaches song guy, maybe.
I know.
I don't know.
Peaches.
Certified banger.
Got Bryan Cranston and Kihei Kwan in it.
So, like, Bryan Cranston was the bad guy in was he in them before? Or was
he's
right.
Spoilers for Kung Fu Panda 3.
Yeah.
He's his biological father.
That's right. Yeah, Kihei Kwan I know is new, but yeah, and I know a lot of the old villains are in it, but I believe they're brought back as like ghosts created by the villain. So I don't know how much they're actually going to be in it.
Who like steals the key of other fighters. So like Tai Lung's ghost shows up and she steals it so she can fight like Tai Lung.
Yeah.
Rules. I don't know.
It was the best one. Yeah.
Uncertain if Lord Shen or the guy from 3 are also back.
Yeah, the Ox we all know and love. Jade Ox
Simmons.
guy. Yeah.
Listen, 3's not so great, but 1 and 2, wow.
Yeah. It's it's an interesting prediction. Because I think it's an interesting one. Will you surprise everybody? What will surprise everybody by being blank in 2024? I'll go first. I was really waffling on this, and I'll say my original one was the Joker's going to be really good, but because we've already talked about Joker, I don't want to say
nice.
it.
I have a Joker one for this, but it's not that.
Okay. So I'll pick a different one. I don't think this is quite like nuclear, so I'm gonna really ramp up the how much we all love it part of it. I think that Agatha Harkness show is going to be a humongous like success. I don't know if that means it's going to be the most watched Disney Plus, blah, 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 or it'll just be a show that we're all at the end of the year like, that was awesome. But I think that show, everything I've seen from it, and I'm really glad it's coming out this year because it's been delayed like a lot, but assuming it comes out this year, I think there are pieces that could be really, really, really good. And besides all the just bullshit, like we love, what's her name? I think the stars like Aubrey Plaza and some of the other characters they're adding are fun. And just the fact that they're making it makes me think they got something. They got some idea. And
Marvel's never made anything bad.
Well, like, okay, and that's that they've never made anything bad. They've made bad things that made sense to make, in a sense, like, yeah, we're gonna make another Ant-Man movie, or we're gonna make Captain Marvel 2. But with this, it's like, I do think there had to be a strong pitch for, like, let's do an Agatha Harkness show where it's Charmed but Agatha instead, or something like that. And whatever that pitch was, it was strong enough to get Disney on board.
Nando, on one of my screens right now, I am looking at an ad for the January 9th premiere of the Echo show.
Yeah, no, that is the problem with this whole prediction. And I think Echo got away from them. I think Echo could have been great, but it seems like it. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll be great. Maybe we'll all love Echo. But yeah, I think Agatha in the Covenant of Chaos, Darkhold, House of Harkness, whatever, is going to be a pretty big, like, critical success, if not also commercial success. Although, how can you tell with the
There's
Disney
no such thing as a
show?
commercial success for a streaming show.
Exactly. But yeah, so as much as that can be a success, I'll say that'll be a success. Diggins, what about you? What's your 2024 will be surprise everybody thing?
So as I said, mine is Joker related. But mine is that Joker Folie à Deux will surprise everybody by actually being Cats level insane.
Oh my God, that would be great.
Okay.
Like, not necessarily good, but like so completely out of its mind that like it brings us a joy that we didn't know we could feel.
I like this.
Like the Pope's Exorcist.
Like the Pope's Exorcist. That's right.
Man, that would be interesting. Do we think Todd Phillips has that in him? Is he that creative of a person?
I don't think he has it in him to do it on purpose. But I think, like Tom Hooper, he can be so boringly conventional that his approach to like crazy ideas becomes absolutely unhinged.
Interesting.
I like this.
Do you think Lady Gaga has good enough taste that she'll see it coming and get ahead of it? Or do you think this will swallow her up, much like Cats swallowed up all of its stars?
And Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, who was never heard from again. Yeah.
For the further parallel, a famous popular singer doing a musical movie.
Yep. I mean, I could see
going for that Oscar, although she's already got one.
Who does?
Doesn't Lady Gaga? Did she have a song Oscar?
No, Star is Born. Did she
probably.
Star is Born?
Yeah.
Yeah, Star is Born. I think one original song at least.
I was like, House of Gucci was pretty good, but I don't know if it was that good.
But yeah, no, I think it's just going to be completely out of its mind in a way that is actually fun instead of like the original Joker.
I would love that.
Lady Gaga did win Best Actress.
Oh, she
Best
did.
Actress?
Yeah.
For Star is Born, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Incredible, right?
That is incredible because I did not know what happened. But no, she didn't win Best Actress. What are you talking about? She won Best Original Song.
Google's probably telling you what she was nominated for.
I bet you're looking at like the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
Like Golden Globes or something, or
no, she was nominated.
Okay. Yeah.
Whoopsie.
But she does have an Oscar.
She does have one. Yes, she does.
Yeah. Shallow, Best Original Song.
Yep. Even though it's bad.
You get an Elon point already.
That's true. Exactly. DJ, what about you?
All right. So I originally was going to like the Deadpool 3, whatever, that I mentioned. So this one's tough. I want to pick one that I do believe in. Problem is, it's kind of right around the corner. It's in like a month. Mm-hmm. And I'm worried that by the time we get to a year from now, everyone's going to have forgotten. But I'm just going to try and keep the receipts and remember what everyone thought of this when it does come out. But I think the Avatar Netflix show is going to surprise everyone by being really, really good.
Yeah, I think there's something there.
Yeah, I think the Avatar fans have been like fucking waiting for something so bad. So even something that's like mid to good will be like, oh, this is the best thing ever. But I think it'll actually be quality, and we'll get some like critics noticing it. Seems like they're putting a lot of work and time into it. It looks good. I can't say much about the cast because I don't know anybody who's in it. I know that the guy from Community is one of the characters.
Danny Pudi. Yeah.
Danny Pudi. Yeah.
Well, Uncle Iroh is being played by what's his name? That guy that everyone loves from Kim's Convenience, right? Like that. That one I think is the cast member that I keep seeing brought up, and it's very good casting.
And Netflix is gonna like fudge numbers. They're gonna shoot it on their top 10. It's gonna be there for a while, and I think it's gonna be pretty omnipresent. It's like, wow, we did a good Avatar live action thing, like kind of similar to One Piece, where that was kind of recognized as being good. So I think this Avatar thing is gonna be up there, and hopefully it can wash the stain away of the bad M. Night Shyamalan movie. So I think Avatar is gonna be good. And
now
I did have a better thing. It comes out like a month, but I'll keep my receipts.
I do think One Piece is like, the proof that this can be done and that Netflix can do it.
It's this the anti-Cowboy Bebop?
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, my question about this was because I know there were 2 Avatar projects in development. I think one was the animated, one is this. Which one is the one that the creator abandoned halfway through?
The animated one.
Or was that this one? Whichever one that is, I'd be like, that's my main knock against it.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're right that it is the other one.
And I think we know there's something there because like they keep trying to do this. It's like we have to turn
out.
out.
It was the live action show they were involved with.
Is it?
Creative differences, yeah. So
All right,
that's what I would be worried about. But
right,
I still
that's
think
fair.
there's something.
I think there's something here. Yeah, it'll be this against Fallout to see where in the TV realm of us is being rated. But I'm gonna put my stake on the Avatar show.
All right.
And if it's bad in a month, you guys will be like, ha ha, DJ's already wrong one of the categories. Ha ha ha.
That's the best. That's such a good feeling.
Yeah, but Joker's in October, so I get all
remember
of October.
when Halo came out early and Nando was super wrong? You and I feasted off that for months.
So good.
Season 2 is coming soon, you guys.
Yeah, he's not going to wear the helmet still.
Nope. You guys, there's only one thing left.
Yeah.
What will 2024 be the year of?
All right.
This is tough. Because we've already talked about a lot of the things, but like we've come across some things, some ideas, some, franchises, actors, things like that, and also some bigger, things that it could be. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, DJ. What is 2024 going to be the year of?
I think so. Mine is focused around a person. I think there's someone who we've covered on this podcast. Just been taking a lot of L's recently, and I think the problem is that this person has strayed from what they're good at, and everyone's like forgotten like why we like this person and why he was cool and why we should care about them. They only have one movie coming out this year, but I think they're gonna be everywhere. So gentlemen, can you submit?
Yeah, I knew this was coming.
I think 2024 is Year of the Rock. I think he's fucking back.
Wow.
He was part of Raw day one, the first. So when it falls on Monday Night Raw falls on New Year's Day, they do Raw day one. They had The Rock come out, cut an amazing promo. It was so good. I think he's going to be part of like all the big wrestling events up to WrestleMania. Him and Roman Reigns, maybe they'll tease it out to SummerSlam if they really want to squeeze as much juice from that fruit as they can. But also he's going to be everywhere. He's going to be doing press. He's going to be doing interviews. He's going to be on Hot Ones. He's not going to talk about any fucking movies, but he's going to just do press. And he's going to be charming, and he's going to tell people to watch wrestling. And he's going to be like, check me out on Raw, check me out on SmackDown. He's just going to be charming, and he's going to be The Rock. He's not going to be Black Adam. He's not going to be in Red Notice, whatever. He's
How dare you? Red Notice 2? How many Red Notices could there possibly be?
Yeah, come on.
And he is just going to be The Rock, and we are going to remember why we love him, and we are going to fall in love with him all over again. I feel like next year is going to be The Rock's year. And then, end of the year, December 2024, he has this weird Christmas action movie coming out called Red One, and it's going to be great. We're going to love it. He's going to be cool in it. We're going to be like, oh, The Rock's good at movies again. Look at this fun movie with him and Chris Evans. Chris Evans, yeah. Him and Chris Evans, super cool, fun, charming Christmas movie. Oh my God, we love The Rock. We love Chris Evans. And it's going to end the year in this amazing year where we all agree The Rock is back.
Now, DJ, I would just like to say, I think this prediction is not bad for 2025. Because 2025 is... Didn't he just sign on for a Safdie Brothers movie that's like going to be his big like uncut gems? But I don't think it comes out until 2 years from now.
But again, this isn't about the movies. This is about The Rock.
Right.
Not The Rock, the actor. It's The Rock, the wrestler and media personality. Like he's gonna be at the Super Bowl. He's gonna be everywhere. We're gonna end.
Wow, he's gonna be at the Super Bowl. Incredible. Is he gonna play?
Yeah, why not? He's play football. Like
maybe
he's not gonna be like. Was he promoting? No. Well, like probably wrestling. But like besides wrestling, it's The Rock. It's I'm The Rock. I'm back. I'm doing what I'm good at and people love me for. And I think it's going to be a huge year for The Rock.
I have a question. I have 2 questions. I have 3 questions. Number 1.
Okay.
And this isn't really a question. This is more just me looking at it. That Big Trouble in Little China remake, he is still on the hook for that, but we don't know when that's coming out. So that I think could maybe come out this year.
Okay.
I don't think it will though. Remember when they announced like a live action Moana thing, but that's also not coming out until next year, I think. Yeah.
Maybe I'm 2 years away. I don't know.
No. I mean, I think if anything, Moana will be where we remember why we don't like The Rock. Maybe this is the only year where it'll count.
This could be the ramp up into 2025 where we get excited and then we're let down again.
That's right. Do you remember when people, but my question, big one was, remember when people thought he might run for president?
Yes.
Do we think that's possible? Like, is that still something people think might happen? Because then it really would be The Rock's year.
No.
If there's I don't think he's going to do it this year.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he wants to be seen as a spoiler who brings you, the dang Cheeto in chief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, assuming we still have a functioning democracy in 2028, I think that might be the one. Big ask, where you get all like the Rocks, Mark Cuban, like all these like random people coming in from the skies, like deciding they want to be president. But no, I don't think it's this cycle.
Okay.
So
I did see that Raw performance, and he was quite good. It did make me love him again.
Like, didn't miss.
You can always tell when he's frustrated with his movie career because he goes back to wrestling for a little bit,
and he makes fun of his movies.
Yeah, like what? Oh God, what? He referenced one that wasn't. This is gonna kill me.
The one
that,
other day.
Like in the promo, he referenced the movie he was in, but it wasn't one of the bad
Baywatch.
ones.
Right?
Yeah, Baywatch, right? Yeah.
That
like one of the ones that you remember being like, oh yeah, Baywatch, right? It's like he was like, did you see Black Adam? Like,
I mean, he's one that would be what really gets me on his side, is if he,
if he acknowledges that the Black Adam stuff was stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be, but it'd be pretty funny.
He called Jinder Mahal a candy ass. He hit all the beats. Like it felt like he's putting out a statement. I'm here. I'm wrestling again. You're all going to love wrestling again. I'm going to have all the normies watch WrestleMania because I'm going to headline it. And yeah, I think he's going to be back big time.
By the way, DJ, have you ever seen Baywatch?
I don't think so.
It doesn't matter if you haven't seen Baywatch. That's what he says in the thing. I gotcha.
No, I missed.
Classic The Rock. Yeah, I would love it if he did bring that out. Like, yeah, your wrestling career is faker than those numbers that I was talking about on Instagram Live about Black Adam. That's what he has to do to really win me over.
That would be so targeted at only you.
Yeah. And all of his fans who believed him, but yeah, me mostly.
He'll be cutting a promo at Nando.
Yeah.
And there's nothing he does better than this.
He's welcome to come on the show too. We'll take him. Yeah.
So that's what I'm going for. You're The Rock.
Diggins, what about you? What is 2024 going to be the year of?
What a great question, Nando.
Do you want me to go so you could think?
That would be wonderful.
All right,
was
great.
yours also The Rock, Diggins? Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Mine is this is the one thing I didn't think of.
His was going to be that wrestler that The Rock made fun of. So like he's
Jinder Mahal. This is the year of Jinder Mahal. Let's go.
He can't come back from getting called a candy ass. So yeah, I gotta pick something else.
All right. So this is another one like the multiverse one that could be completely destroyed by all these movies being delayed. But I still did okay on that one. So I'm going to take a safe bet and say, because I think this is just generally true, that 2020, what is this, 2024? It's going to be the year of the anti-hero. All the big movies are some sort of anti-hero, some sort of villain, but what if they were the good guy? Deadpool, Joker, Kraven, Venom. We got a Venom movie coming out next year. Borderlands, Mad Max sequel, like something else I already forgot. But like there's just a lot of those. I don't really need to say too much about it because I just think that is what this year is. And like, especially because all of the other comic book movies, the traditional ones all got out of the way. We only got time for anti-heroes. We got Wicked coming out. We got a Beetlejuice movie coming out. We got an Alien movie coming out. Like, that's just what this year is going to be. There's another Despicable Me, you know, I don't know, John Wick ballerina spinoff. So the only thing that can destroy me is Garfield. If Garfield is the biggest hit and it is about a guy who everyone loves who is nice, then I'm totally fucked.
I mean,
Although
Garfield is kind of an anti-hero, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
Garfield
is an anti-hero. Yeah, you know. He's not a good guy. Rebel Moon Part 2 comes out next year. That's an anti-hero, or this year, anti-hero thing. Yeah.
I think the one that crushes you is Dune.
I mean,
if
Dune's,
Dune is just the...
Yeah, I don't know, DJ. I don't
know.
Yeah. It's all very black and it's not, you know, it's all shades of gray as this year, let's say. Although I do think some of them are more specifically like just Venom and Deadpool and Joker, the good Joker, who's like a good guy, like all having a movie this year is a lot. So, you know, it's interesting because it seems like what 2025 will be, not to, you know, completely, you know, preview another one, is the opposite. The year of the very traditional hero, Fantastic Four, Superman, Captain America. And it's like we're getting that out of our system. We're purging for a year on just bad boys, baby. Leather jackets and motorcycles. So
they're doing a new Bad Boys?
They are actually doing a new Bad Boys this year. Yeah, I forgot about that. But
oh my God,
we gotta cover
they
that
are.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Bad Boys 5 Life or whatever.
Well, are they skipping 4?
I don't know.
No,
I think
we did For Life.
No, yeah, that is the third Bad Boys movie.
Bad Boys 4 Life is the third Bad Boys.
Yep. That's why it's going to be strange when they call the next one Bad Boys 5 Life, but it's just going to be those kids from the next one or for the last one. But yeah, so I think that's all the movies and shows of next year. There's also probably a bunch of shows I forgot about that are going to do this, but I don't know, whatever. Diggins.
Just real quick, Nando, to bolster your point, you know who else is an anti-hero?
Who?
The Rock.
The Rock. Yes, he's back in his anti-hero phase before this fails and he has to go back to being Red Notice again.
You know he gives up on it. Anti-hero?
Who?
Shadow the Hedgehog.
That's right, Shadow the Hedgehog. You know who else is an anti-hero? The Penguin, kind of. He's more of a villain. Echo, the Walking Dead nerds, whatever the hell that is. Arcane. There's a lot of this next year. Halo, maybe, you know? I don't know.
Master Chief is a pretty straightforwardly heroic character.
He's a complicated figure, an anti-hero, if I've ever seen one. Yeah, The Boys, anti-heroes. We're getting another season of that.
As I'm willing to say, the only person on this well, it's not a Zoom call, whatever the hell you want to call this call, who could name a single plot detail about Halo, I feel pretty confident in saying that not an anti-hero.
Probably not, but also... no, this list, I'm looking at TV shows now, and the TV shows are even better. You got a True Detective season, Echo. That show Has Been Hotel about the devil, and it's like little musical numbers and stuff. A Mr. and Mrs. Smith show, Walking Dead, that Shogun thing. Where's the other one I really liked here? Besides Fallout, we don't really know what that's gonna like, how that's gonna skew. The Agatha show. Where's the other one I really like? House of the Dragon's coming back. Dune. Kite Man show. Kite Man cartoon is going to come up. Marvel Zombies show. And the last one on my list. Oh, Umbrella Academy. That was the other one. Where like they're kind of anti-heroes too. So we'll see. But that's my prediction. Diggins, what about you? Have you come up with one yet?
You know, you'd think with all this time, obviously I must have.
I wish I had like a backup. I think you could maybe do. See, the problem with this one is this year, 2023, was the year that video games crossed over. I think you could try to do that for this year with Fallout and Borderlands and some of these, but I still think there's a much stronger case for Last of Us, you know, Super Mario, and even like the Twisted Metal one. Like there were just too many of them were popular or successful.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. Just pick some esoteric, you know, Criterion Collection. Like this will be the year that Steven Drummer is making all of the movies that us Criterion Collection nerds love.
Ooh, or how about this could be the year of the musical, perhaps. What with Joker Folie à Deux, the Mean Girls musical, the Secret musical, perhaps. But that's something maybe.
I did think about that, but I feel like this year was more the year of the musical than.
Yeah. Well, we got a Wicked thing coming out next year. I don't really know how much the kids like Wicked, but if they love it, that could be them.
The kids don't really like Wicked anymore, I don't think, but the adults I think.
Yeah.
Crazy
Those
for it.
Dang millennials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The dang millennials who don't come out to see the good Ridley Scott movies.
Yeah. He's got a movie coming out next year. He's got that Gladiator sequel, which, boy, howdy, that looks tough.
Ooh, you do 2024 will be the year that millennials stop being the focus anymore because we're all old and decrepit.
Oh, yeah, where we all just get pushed.
Time.
Yeah, they put us on the ice float and just push us into the ocean.
Goodbye.
I don't know how it took this long.
Yeah, I want to be like, it's the movie where the barrel runs dry, or the year where the barrel runs dry, where we finally run out of things to do sequels and remakes to, but I know that's not true.
I mean,
will never. It's an infinite resource.
I do think
making a Gladiator 2 next year.
Yeah.
Ooh, do something with that.
Paul Mescal.
The year of the resurrected dead movie.
I do think the other thing you could say, or the other guess you could make, is that 2024 will be the year that the blockbuster does die. Like, because I think this was the year it almost died, but it still kind of hung on just long enough. But without like Barbie and Oppenheimer happening the way that they did, and even I think if they happened on different weeks, neither of them would have hit the height that they did.
You know what?
Yeah.
I've got a big one that's almost certainly wrong, but I'm gonna go for it.
Let's do it.
2024 is the year that fucks.
Ooh,
What?
I like it. Who's gonna be our guys? Who's fucking?
We're getting that Mr. Bean movie, everybody.
Yep,
Mr. Bean movie.
He's gonna be the new bad boy.
I mean, if it's good, ideally the Deadpool movie will be sexy in a way that MCU movies are normally not. There's that Luca Guadagnini. I never know how to pronounce his name. The Call Me by Your Name guy is doing that threesome movie.
Oh yeah, the Zendaya threesome. Yeah,
the Zendaya tennis threesome.
Speaking of Zendaya and the boys, we've also got Dune. I don't know if that's a movie that fucks, but could be.
I think Dune could end up being in the movie that fucks part because the relationship between Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya is a huge part of that part of the story. As well as some other stuff I won't spoil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm for something I've come up with right now. I don't know how much it's gonna hold up, but yeah, I'm gonna say it's the year sex comes back to the movies. It's the year that fucks.
I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Sonic 3. Obviously, Craven.
Obviously, Craven. Well, to be fair, like, yeah, Craven could do that. And also, you got Rebel Moon. What if Star Wars was sexy? And they'll put out the R-rated one where they actually do that.
We get the real space vagina this time.
We'll find out what it was actually supposed to be. That you see that movie about the bodybuilders who are like lesbian bodybuilder movie? This trailer came out for this kind of recently. It looks kind of fun.
There's that. There's the Ethan Cohen Lesbians on the Run movie.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the right.
Oh, they're not bodybuilders.
One of them is.
You're talking about Drive Away Dolls?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Love Lies Bleeding. They're also on the run in this movie. Oh no,
that's
too,
the one with Kristen Stewart.
Yes, that's
right.
That's
also. I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, year that fucks.
Oh man, the Nosferatu movie might fuck. That would be fun.
Vampires are our sexiest monsters.
And Robert Eggers makes some sexy movies.
Well, Northman fucks makes some literally sexy movies in that they are about sex.
Yeah.
So, Diggins, I think for Roger's sake, you're going to have to, like, compile all of these movies that fucks, like, throughout the year. So Roger isn't, like, trying to find all the movies that fuck.
I mean, we've named a bunch of them.
Right, how dare you, DJ? How dare you think I'm not going to be watching these movies meticulously?
Fair.
Checking the little ticks for every time.
Yeah, watching Sonic 3 with a magnifying glass, trying to find some fucking happening.
When Sonic starts to lean forward to kiss the human girl, you know where it's going, baby.
now we joke, but I think it would be unsurprising if the mom character got pregnant in this third one.
Oh my god.
Sonic?
James Marsden.
No, you've already said it. It's going to be Sonic.
Well, I mean, if you go by online, fan art, then pregnancy is a huge part of the Sonic franchise.
Now, Diggins, I think you missed the biggest one that's gonna fuck. It's gonna be Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah, it's podcast.
Dan Aykroyd's coming back, and there's plenty of ghosts.
Oh my god, yeah.
Dan Aykroyd's gonna be in a ghost orgy.
Dan Aykroyd's
They're gonna walk in and be like, Dan Aykroyd, we need your help. They're gonna open the door, and there's gonna be like 50 ghosts just going to town.
Oh my god.
And there'll be Crystal Skull vodka on the table, and he'll be like, I'll distract them. I've got this. Go.
Yeah.
Go fight them.
Podcast, go. Take the frozen ghosts or whatever the fuck this movie is about to Patton Oswalt.
I was going to say, it's ice, right? Dan,
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, everything's frozen. I know how to warm
Not
it up.
not anymore.
Podcast, close your eyes. Get out of here.
I mean, listen,
I can't get a third strike under New York law. You need to leave. I need to save the day.
If they would come out of the gate and there's a very, very weird sex scene in Ghostbusters in like 2 months, then I think we can call the year early for Diggins.
Yeah, I'll give it to him.
Here is what will just unequivocally, I don't care if everything else hits. If in 2024 The Rock shows the slightest bit of sexuality,
yeah,
Diggins, you win.
But
like,
so does DJ, you know? That's like everybody wins but me.
Well, we'll figure out the toss-up, but I think The Rock being a sexual person in any capacity trumps the year of The Rock, because that is untapped market of The Rock.
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give it to him if there's just like a ghost orgy in Ghostbusters. It's like,
Yeah, I think I'm willing to say that if there's a ghost orgy in the new Ghostbusters, then I win.
I think it can only be made better if The Rock kicks the door down and is like, room for one more, and then throws himself into the middle of it.
That's what he needs.
Here, I've brought some Terramana tequila. Let's go.
It's the Crystal Skull vodka versus
yeah. And my weird energy drink, all three.
I smell what you all are cooking.
Just die. Like, they couldn't make it. Oh, you guys. These are a lot of predictions.
I like it.
I can't wait to see when these happen, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you guys, do you want to get to our classic segment?
I would love to get to our classic segment.
I would love that.
All right. DJ, would you like to recommend some things to find people? Start with you.
I'm going to recommend some things, and I'm going to take from the Discord where they just say that at the end we say what it is and where they can get it.
Yeah.
It was a really good recommendation, so people aren't like backing up like 30 minutes to see what they can get. All right, so I have two games I'd like to recommend because I love them both so much. The first game I'd like to recommend, Nando, this was the game that you saw at the New Year's party. We were wrapping up the racing game.
Oh yeah, that looks fun.
It's called Thunder Road Vendetta. So okay, this isn't really a game as much as like a chaotic experience that you have with your friends. But essentially, the premise of this game is it's a kind of Mad Max style. You have cars, and you're trying to get to the end of the finish line, and meanwhile you're like crashing into each other and you're shooting each other and you're blowing stuff up and you're flying off the track, and it's basically just last man standing. There's like different mechanics where you can shoot someone and then maybe like their car like flies off the border. We actually had Michelle won the game by being shot from behind but then being shot forward enough to be shot across the finish line and win. It's like this crazy game that all of our friends were like, this isn't a game, but it's amazing. It's made from this developer Restoration Games. So very easy. You can go to restorationgames.com, which is where you can find all this information. But they take kind of like old games and kind of update them with like modern rules and components and parts and just an ability to get them instead of like publishing an old game. So it's really, really fun. It's 2 to 4 players. I've only played it with 4. I was gonna like play it with Michelle to see how it does with 2, but I just think with 4 and that many cars and that much chaos, it's probably the best. And the game doesn't take too long either. It's like to move your car, you're rolling die, so it goes very quick. You roll your die, you move your car, and it kind of goes around very quickly. It's not an overly complicated game. It's a lot of fun. And so again, this is like probably like a more of like a niche game that you might want to add to your collection. But it's so fun. I played it a few times, had a blast, pun intended, every time. So that's Thunder Road Vendetta. That's like the name. That's the whole name of the game. You can get it at restorationgames.com or perhaps your local game store, however that works. But at least there you can find info on it and then do your own Googling. The next game I want to recommend is called Flamecraft. This is by Lucky Duck Games. Flamecraft is a community engine building game where you're playing as these little dragons who are working in a village, and they kind of help like with the different tasks of the village. So like they help with like the glass blowing, and they help bake bread and make creme brulee. And it's very cute.
Thing.
Oh, it's very cute.
Yeah,
I love bread. As we know, I love bread. So you're kind of going around collecting resources from the different shops, and you're also adding dragons to the town to add more resources. And it's a communal engine building game, so it's very feel good in terms of like you adding to the board helps everyone else at the table, and you have to find your best moves to optimization to kind of hit your hitting goals and do the best what are called enchantments. Again, pretty quickly paced game. Rules are very basic. Sports 1 to 5. This I would say if you like a low to medium complexity engine building game that's mostly feel good. There's no cutthroat. There's very little player interaction. You're kind of doing your own thing for the most part, I would say. But it does get your brain working. There's a lot of variation in the game with the shops that can come up and enchantments and things like that. So the games vary. That one I've played with just Michelle, 2-player works. Play it with 4 players works also. That 3 to 4 range is probably a good player count. But yeah, like it's cute. Like I'm sure kids would love it just because the art style is so adorable. And it's just kind of like a fun. I'd say it's a good intro into like engine building and resource management games. So that's Flamecraft from Lucky Duck Games. So yeah, those are my 2 recommendations.
Cool. Diggins, what about you? You have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. I watched a couple movies. One was an old movie by the name of Laura. This is like one of the seminal noirs. It's from 1944. It's about this young woman. She works at like an advertising agency. Is killed. And she kind of had like a very active social circle and a fiance and everything. And so it's about the detective who's sort of going around, interviewing everyone in her life and trying to get to the bottom of who could have killed her and why. But the detective starts to fall in love with the idea of this woman as he investigates more of her life. And then a shocking twist happens about a third to halfway through the movie. And I don't want to say more than that, but it's just like really, really good, like snappy dialogue, like kind of a twisting plot. Just watching it all unfold, I think it's a classic for a reason. It kind of like helped codify the genre, and it's very entertaining. It's only 90 minutes, DJ. Actually, it's even less. And oh god, there was something else I was going to say about it, but I've forgotten. It's really good. It's called Laura. Once again, it used to be on the Criterion channel. It has unfortunately left, but you can still rent it on like YouTube or Amazon or Apple TV or any of the usual suspects. I also watched a much more recent movie by the name of Ferrari. I bet Nando just said something cool and interesting right now.
But he's muted. So
Oh, speaking of Italians, that's what I said, and we all heard it. So let's just have it say it again. I'm gonna edit in a fake one. Yeah, how was it?
Nice.
Did you like it?
Okay. Well, listen, you can make me sound bad, but you'll also be making yourself sound bad.
Haha. That's the secret.
Ferrari, yes, I enjoyed Ferrari a lot. I think for a lot of the movie, as it's going along, it feels like a very normal or a very like standard kind of biopic. Not a bad one, like a good one. First of all, it does the correct thing, which decides to be about a single event in the person's life and not their whole life. But also, I mean, like Adam Driver is, as one of the less ridiculous accents from House of Gucci, he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Pretending to be an Italian man. And also just acting in general. And it's like kind of about his personal life as he's sort of like getting ready for this a big race that's like kind of important for like the future of the Ferrari company. But then the last like 15 minutes just like, if you are aware of the history of Ferrari, you know what's coming, but I'm not. And so I was completely blindsided by what happened. And it like really kind of like pulls everything into focus and like really like snaps everything into place for the movie in a way that I was very pleasantly surprised by. So yeah, I think it's a mostly like pretty good movie that has like a really great ending.
Interesting.
But yeah, so that's Ferrari. You can see that in movie theaters. It's
cool.
Still playing in those. What about you, Nando? Do you have anything to recommend?
Yeah, I watched and did a couple things. So the first one is I finally watched that movie Dream Scenario, which we had Diggins had recommended before, the one where Nicolas Cage is in everyone's dreams. I think the way Diggins described this is similar to how I will describe it now, which is it's not like it's more about something else than it is about the dream thing. Like it's getting at something very specific in like just what this movie is. And I liked it. I thought it was very clever. I think Nicolas Cage does an interesting job. It's a character. It's very character. Like he has a voice. And I liked it for the most part.
I think when I wrecked it, I described him as doing a good job of playing your dad.
I can see it. He's and it's good. I like this movie. I liked it a lot. I think it's good. The other thing that I watched two things. One, I've been watching New Zealand Taskmaster, and it's great. Season 2 specifically. It's like maybe some of the best Taskmaster ever done. So I'd recommend that to anybody that likes Taskmaster. But
is that the one where they brought Bill Cosby?
No, that's the first season. Although they're well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't gotten all the way to the end, but that is the first season when that comes up. But I was gonna say the other thing that I watched that I really liked, and I told Diggins about this. I watched that show Scavenger's Reign on HBO Max or whatever the hell it is. So like it's the animated show about guys. They're some sort of space company, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And a bunch of them get stranded on a planet full of weird aliens. So it's kind of like, what if Pokemon were gross and they have to go to that planet and figure out what all these things are and survive there. And there's 3 different groups. That's what it starts. And like that, each one of them plays out in a different way. I think I really liked the beginning. I thought the beginning was very fun. And I do think, like, I think Diggins, you said this. I can't remember. You might have. I might have read this because I was reading a review of it the other day, which is what tricked me into watching it. It is gross, like kind of, but it's also very like pretty, kind of. The way that it's drawn makes it very accessible in a way that I wasn't expecting. So that was great, but also, so that's what the beginning works. The middle's good. Middle's fun. A lot of developments, and like right when in like the middle, I guess it's like 10 episodes or 12 episodes, but whatever, like right smack dab in the middle where it seems like it might get boring, something happens that changes everything in a way that was good. But then the finale is so good. Like those last 2 episodes are awesome. And like, it's one of those seasons of television that's just so tight that like, I want more of it, but almost like with season 1 of like Stranger Things or like season 3 of Daredevil, it's like, you just be done and have created this really cool thing. So, it's definitely not for everybody. It's very adult, and it's very like, it's got a vibe that, I would say if you watch the first 2 episodes and you hate it, you're probably not going to change your mind. But if you're into it, it's very good.
I think to your point there about it being kind of gross, it's like a lot of that show is very much about kind of like just the natural world and our relationship to it, but in like the fullness of it, where it is beautiful, but it's also terrifying, and it's also grotesque, and it's also like dangerous, but like there is something sublime about it. There is something unspeakable that or not unspeakable, something like ineffable about it, that there is a beauty and a charm, almost like a divinity to it that you can't find outside of nature.
Yeah.
No, it's also like completely indifferent to you as a person.
I think like the first 2 episodes, this is what I would say. Anybody that's curious, just watch the first 2. They're on HBO Max, whatever. And if you like it. If you don't, then you can leave it. Not a ton of stars. I do think I saw Alia Shawkat is in there.
Alia Shawkat is the flashback wife and the robot.
Oh, of course. Yep. Because I was going through and I was like, who is it? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Then, but yeah, so I really liked it. I think it's worth most people giving it a shot. And it probably would crack like my top 10 shows of the year, which I think there was, well, I didn't watch a lot of movies, and I know there's a lot of really good movies I haven't seen. There's a lot of really good shows that I have seen. And like, yeah, it's great. Roger, would you like to recommend anything for the fine people?
Nando, what was that show and where can you find it?
So what I was thinking we'd do for this is, I think when we're all done, we go around one more time and say the names of the things. That's what I think people want. And I was going to save that, but we'll do one real quick, like kind of rapid fire one.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But yeah, so Roger, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
That's a great idea, because you are inevitably going to forget next week to do this. So if you build in a segment where you repeat it, it'll be better.
Yeah.
I like it.
So my first rec is going to be kind of specific to DJ as a wrecker, because he has this tendency when it comes. I'm wrecking the hot dog stand around the corner from my house. Everybody find a way to get to Chicago. No, DJ has this ability over the last couple of years that when he wrecks sports things, that team does terribly. So last year he wrecked the Miami Dolphins, and then Tua had a horrific concussion on the field.
Yeah.
He wrecked the Knicks in the playoffs, and then they came and fell out of the playoffs shortly thereafter. And this year, he was starting to wreck the HBO Hard Knocks series that covers the Miami Dolphins, and then stopped himself. But the jinx was already out there, because the Dolphins have been kind of crappy the last couple of weeks. So my goal here is to reverse the jinx, much like the witch's curse. I think I can reverse the curse. I'm in Chicago. We reverse the curse. Let's do it. So I am going to emphatically wreck the Miami Dolphins, who on Sunday will be playing the Buffalo Bills for the number 2 seed in the NFL and a home field advantage. So we'll see if this works.
It'll be so funny if it doesn't.
Diggins, you have to watch this game. I know you don't do football, but you have to watch this game.
I might.
Now, you can message 2 people now. You can make fun of DJ and me. But for a more traditional rec, I'll do one that hasn't been done. There's a video game, Remnant 2, that came out earlier, but 2023 was full of video games, so I'm slowly getting through the backlog of that. And it's a game that I play with my sister online. It's a very fun shooter. The first one was pretty solid. It's kind of like a Souls-light, roguelite, where you go into a level, it gets reset when you do your health. Shooter, but you can do melee. 2 really improved. The enemies and the worlds are a lot more dynamic. It's been really fun. So if you like games like Borderlands or Destiny, and you're looking for something that's a little more difficult or a little more enjoyable, highly recommend Remnant 2. It's probably on sale now because it's been out for a bit. I think they just released a DLC, but it's been a good game, and one that has not been wrecked, at least over the year. The other one is one that has been wrecked. Fargo season 5 has been excellent. I didn't watch the last episode.
Neither have I, so we're good.
But it really, because we, similar to Nando, I went back and watched some of the other seasons, and it does a really good job of kind of towing the line of that fantastical, but still grounded in a meaningful way.
Kind of a magical realism.
Yeah, and even more so, I think, at least so far, again, full disclaimer that we're not finished yet, but it really seems to do a good job of really capturing that, more so than any of the previous seasons, that I'm really enjoying it. And then I didn't watch Bear season 1 or season 2, so we kind of binged it. And I'm living in Chicago, so I love things in Chicago, because it's just me, Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen going like, I know where that is. Like one of the scenes, one of the characters sings in a karaoke bar, and when it popped up, I was like, that karaoke bar is right down the street from us. I'm almost positive, and it was.
That's cool.
The chocolate cake is actually created by a bakery right around the corner from me that honestly makes some of the best bread, no joke, in Chicago, I think. They have a jardiniere and jalapeno cheddar bread that is amazing. But I would recommend The Bear. It is a very, very good show, and I think this season was just masterclass after masterclass. A number of episodes are some of my favorite episodes, both the Christmas one and then the fancy dinner at one of the like Alinea style course restaurants. So those are my recs.
All right, so let's go back to DJ and then just say what your recs were, and then we'll just do that.
I am recommending Thunder Road Vendetta by Restoration Games and Flamecraft by Lucky Duck Games.
Diggins.
I wrecked Laura, the 1994 movie by Otto Preminger, and Ferrari, the 2023 movie by Michael Mann.
And then I wrecked Dream Scenario, the Nicolas Cage movie by somebody, I don't remember who, and Taskmaster New Zealand season 2 specifically, unless they do something weird, and then I won't like it. But so far, I think I'm like 7 episodes in. I'm having a good time. And then Scavenger's Reign, the new show. So those are my recommendations.
And I'm wrecking the Miami Dolphins, brought to you by the NFL and hopefully the Reverse the Curse campaign. Remnant 2 on, I think, all the platforms. Fargo Season 5 and Bear Season 1 and Season 2.
Cool. All right.
Awesome.
What are we doing next week, guys?
Are we actually doing Night Swim?
Is Night Swim out next week?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think so. I mean, if you guys are down, I'm definitely curious enough that I kind of want to see it. I haven't seen any reviews.
There's also nothing else out, so let's go Night Swim.
So the other thing we could do that I don't think would be as fun would be the Echo show. That all drops at once.
No, don't make me do it. No.
Yeah, I know.
Watch so much stuff.
I know, and that's why I think Night Swim will be more fun and just weirder. So
what's that, Diggins, in the chat? You want to do Entourage? Oh, okay.
Ooh,
I mean, you finally came around.
We could do Aquaman again instead of that.
Day Swim, as it's called.
Yeah, there is. What was I gonna say? There is that movie where that rom-com that nobody likes, where I watched the trailer and I'm like, these are really the best cuts of Sydney Sweeney you could get.
That's what I've been hearing. So there is that. Yeah, I think we do Night Swim unless something else comes up or we can't make it out for some reason. Then we'll figure it out. But I would say that's at least what we should plan for. DJ, do you have anything to plug for the fine people?
No, still on Golden Bachelor hiatus. We'll have more to talk about next week.
Okay. Dickens?
No. What about you, Nando?
You know, I've got some videos coming out, some like Nando cut videos. They'll be out soon that are on, like New Year's stuff, talking about the Stephen Yeun casting thing, and also the actor who might be Kang, which is exciting. That is not Jonathan
like
Majors.
The boy who would be king?
It may, you know what? Yeah, it is. The boy who might be Kang. And I mean, it's a 50-year-old man, so there's a little bit of difference, but it does seem like they might.
Well,
maybe
if he does
be
a sex
zeroing in on an
crime,
actor.
then he's still just an innocent boy who.
It's possible, But those videos are out. Don't know when my next Nando V Movies video will be out, so we'll see. Roger, do you have anything to plug?
If you like mostly nitpicking, jump into the Discord. I think that's been a really good development in this year. I think a lot of the Twitter/X discourse has moved over there, and there's a lot of fun conversations going on. Other than that, I don't do anything other than this.
That's fine. That's all anybody needs to do. Yeah, I mean, look at us. We're going on like 3.5 hours. So I don't know how you have any other pastimes besides this.
I mean, 5-star podcast, 5-star.
5-star runtime, baby.
Hung in for the long haul, dude.
So thank you so much.
I did get to a point like halfway through where I was like, he knows he can leave, right? You don't have to stay for all this.
But that's as I was getting. Thank you so much, Roger, for coming on, for keeping track of all of my correct predictions, and good luck this year.
Fuck you for keeping track of my incorrect predictions.
Everybody,
but there are so many of them.
You know, it's such a good show, right, DJ? You love Jury Duty. It's your favorite.
I love Jury Duty so much. It's crazy. Diggins won IMDb because of it, but it's fine.
It's fair and balanced, and but yeah, thank you so much, Roger. We will, I'm sure we'll remember some of these predictions and bring them up as the year comes. And we'll talk to you in a year, hopefully, with some correct predictions and some pretty silly ones. I
mean, you'll get Venmo payments in between, but,
right? Yeah, yeah. DJ will talk to you on the jet, but before that, but yeah. So until next week for Night Swim, probably. I've been at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name. You don't have to if you don't.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
That's fine. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Woo-hoo.
Bye.
Bye.
Court.